Good morning. You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative, helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
Well, good morning to you and happy Tuesday. A shift in the weather, shift in Jerry. He has gone from first to second gear, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
He double clutched it.
And I'm not lugging it.
No, yeah. He
right.
double clutched it. He high speed shifted it. Anyway, good morning to you. Happy Tuesday. A lot going on in the news. September 1st. Hey, by the way, I want to remind you, this also starts our new devotional. If you don't have a copy of this, we will be glad to send you one. No obligation. Just get a hold of us, go online, or call us. And this is good through, this will take you through September, October, November. Mm-hmm. And millions of people are reading this little book around the world.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So the new ones start today, and if you don't have a copy, let us know. If you need an extra copy for a friend, let us know. And then also our new Studio Insider. This is kind of like looking behind the camera.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
and
this is pretty cool.
You know what's cool about this?
What?
Again, if you're not getting it, well, no obligation.
Right.
It has our TV schedule in it, which a lot of people want to know what plays when.
Yes.
It has our radio schedule in it. Okay. And it has 9 pictures of Jerry in here.
It's good other than that, you know?
So you can just leave it open in your closet and all the mice will stay away.
Oh, yes.
There's one. Let's see. There's one.
It's kind of like Irish Spring soap. You know, they say put that in your mailbox, keep the rodents away.
There's one. Okay, he's all over this place. There's one.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
No.
Anyway, we'll be glad to send these out to you. They're available. All right, good morning to you. Happy Tuesday. A lot going on in the news. Boy, there is a ton of stuff. We'll get to that. Anything special today?
Well, today is National Forgiveness Day. If you need a special day for it, today is your day. Unfortunately, you know, we bring it up on a particular day. This should be something that we consider every single day. A day to embrace healing, understanding, and unity by encouraging forgiveness and fostering empathy. Is there such a thing in the world anymore as empathy?
Well, you know, in Christianity,
okay, yes.
I would say in the world it is pretty cold, hard, and mean and ugly. Mm-hmm. And I say that respectfully, but that's just what's out there.
Well,
you don't believe me? Stop reading the headlines and you'll be a happy person.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, those headlines can get you, huh?
Yeah, just stay away from them.
Yeah, well, forgive somebody. Somebody, is God putting it on your heart? Forgive them.
There you go.
It is also National No Rhyme Nor Reason Day, recognizing words that do not rhyme with any other words in the English language, and words that don't rhyme with any other word are called refractory rhymes.
Refractory rhymes.
Refractory rhymes. Poets reason that avoiding these words helps keep their poetry consistent.
So is it refractory poetry?
Yeah, well, they don't use them. They avoid it because you can't rhyme anything with words such as orange, month, silver, spirit, chimney, purple, woman, ninth, and pint. In fact, ninth and pint almost rhyme, but they don't.
Okay. But isn't there a form of poetry where it doesn't rhyme?
I don't know.
It's more musical?
There's a lot of poetry that for some reason doesn't rhyme, and I don't get it. But
roses are red, violets are blue?
Go on.
Well, the next line is totally up to you.
Oh! Boom! That was pretty good, man.
There you go.
All right, and finally, one thing to eat, that's really good, is National Burnt Ends Day. Are you ready for some flavor and sauce? If you said yes, then National Burnt Ends Day is your chance to celebrate one of the tastiest barbecue celebrations. Once considered trimmings or leftovers, burnt ends come from the point of a brisket. The name comes from the longer cooking time required for tender brisket. As a result, these thinner points become a little charred and tougher than the rest of the meat. Delicious on their own, burnt ends also taste amazing on sandwiches and in stews. Burnt ends, anyone?
Burnt ends?
Yeah.
Well, you know, if it's burnt ends and medium rare, you got the perfect steak.
Oh, boy. Oh, yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
All right, bird ends.
Yeah, have some.
All right.
Forgive someone.
All right, well, good stuff all the way around. Let's check in with a guy that has burnt ends.
Southerly winds bring precipitation and cooler temperatures across northern Oregon and southern Washington, with cloudy skies and a slight chance of rain this afternoon for Vancouver, Portland, and McMinnville, all in the low 70s. Clouds continue in Wilsonville with a daytime high of 73. Through the Willamette Valley, mostly cloudy across the region for Salem and Eugene near 72. A slight chance of rain, then cloudy in low 70s in Albany and Corvallis with a low of 54 later tonight. A chance of showers in central Oregon turns partly sunny for Prineville, Bend, and Sun River, with highs in the mid-70s to low 80s. Thunderstorms in Boise clear to partly sunny and 89 with wind gusts as high as 26 miles an hour. Along the Oregon coast, fog and a chance of showers in Coos Bay and Port Orford, with highs in the upper 60s to lower 70s, while Brookings and Crescent City settle into the mid-50s to around 60. Southern Oregon sees cooler highs in the mid-70s with partly sunny skies in Grants Pass and Medford, followed by a chance of thunderstorms, mostly sunny in Ashland and Klamath Falls with increasing clouds later in the day. In Northern California, mostly sunny and mid-70s in Wairika and Redding with a chance of thunderstorms, while Chico is partly sunny and 77. Over in Fort Bragg, chance of showers and patchy fog with a high of 60. The Bay Area sees a chance of rain before cloudy skies in 70 in Santa Rosa and partly sunny in 68 for Napa. San Francisco and San Jose start with patchy fog and drizzle before turning partly sunny in the upper 60s to low 70s. For Central California, mostly sunny in Sacramento, Stockton, and Modesto with areas of smoke in the mid to upper 70s. Fresno, Visalia, and Bakersfield reach the mid-80s under sunny skies with lows in the 50s. And that's a snapshot of your Tuesday weather on the Dove.
And there's a little bit of a shot of the Rogue Valley this morning. That's almost looking directly west. And you can see the storm clouds are coming in. When you see the satellite image, you can see we are in for it. So considerably cooler today, and there's a little bit of a shot there. And if you're down in the Bay Area and you just love your car because you spend so much time in it.
Yes. Oh,
okay,
boy.
Here's a scene to prove it.
Woo-hoo!
These are people coming into the city.
They're moving, though.
Yeah, they are moving.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. When you're in that kind of traffic at that flow, do you change lanes when one looks to be moving a little faster than the
well,
others?
you know, the men do.
Yeah. And how about if you're on a motorcycle? Do you split lanes?
Well, you know, I don't like motorcycle riders that zip in and out.
Yeah.
You know, they're hard to see.
Yeah. Well, they're easy to see when the ambulance comes to scoop them up.
Yeah, well, or if they're on your windshield.
True. Very true.
But no, and then here's a little bit of a shot. This is Walnut Grove, looking right down on the little town of Walnut Grove, down in the Central Valley. That's off that big tower down there. And if you look way out there and see the lights, that would be like Rancho Cordova, the south end of Sacramento, in that area out that way. So,
all right,
there you go.
Got a little bit of that. Is that called marine air that we're seeing on there?
Marine air.
What is marine air?
It's air with water in it.
Okay. Yeah, that was quick. Does it rhyme
Clouds.
with anything?
Marine air. I'll think of something.
Okay. Moving on. Is there anything that is good that comes out in our life from adversity? Well, here with great encouragement is Dr. Anthony George.
In verse 11, the Apostle Paul described this barrage of assaults from which there seemed to be no escape as placing him in the situation of being always delivered to death. Look in verse 11, he says, "For we who live are always delivered to death for Jesus' sake, that the life of Jesus also may be manifested in our mortal flesh." There is this theme that was introduced in the previous verse, verse 10, a contrast between death and life. And that theme plays throughout the rest of this chapter. Through our suffering, like that of Paul, which takes us closer to death, our clay pot is being broken, and the life of Jesus within us is shining through more and more. The situations that wear the clothing of adversity are actually helping us to manifest Jesus, who lives inside of us in ways that can be seen on the outside of us to those around us. What Paul was saying in this verse is Jesus is shining through the cracks in the clay pot. God uses my suffering to show others Jesus more in my life. I wish that wasn't how it worked, but that's God's way, not mine.
Yes, and that was him last Sunday at Shadow Mountain. He was speaking and filling in for Dr. David Jeremiah.
Who fills in for him when he's filling in something else?
You know, his one of his youth pastors, I think, did over the weekend. So quite the guy, quite the guy. All right. Well, listen, you're a crackpot.
Say what?
By which God's light shines through your cracks to help other people.
All right.
So,
Thank you for that.
Just thought I'd let you know. All right. Good morning to you. Let's take a look at a ton of news this morning. Let's take a look at it. First of all, the United Arab Emirates says it has intercepted some missiles from Iran drones over the territorial waters. So you got the UAE involved in this now. I can't help but think that some of Iran's neighbors are saying, why are you shooting at us?
Yeah.
Well, apparently Iran was shooting some missiles in retaliation of America taking out some of the missile launchers that were putting the mines inside the straits, and so we now have some continuing military exchange going on.
We were wondering about how they were getting some of those mines in there, with the small boats and stuff, because we're, as the drug runners know, we're pretty good at shooting the small boats out of the water. Yeah.
Well, apparently they have a system by which they launch them on these small little rocket launchers.
Yeah.
Like throwing a potato gun.
Now there's the technology.
And they throw it out there. But anyway, we took those out in the last couple of days, and Iran got a little ticked off about that. So they started lobbing some things over towards some of our military bases, and then the UAE gets involved in shooting those down. So
right, and basically Iran's just really stirring it up. They're making their neighbors angry.
Yeah, look,
really
there's no win here.
Yeah.
The president did say yesterday in one of his interviews that Iran is dead. Now, I think he jumped the gun on that. That's my personal feeling. But basically what he's saying that all of the economic squeeze and military actions and everything has pretty much got them down. And to the point where they actually mentioned yesterday, maybe now we ought to get together and talk. I don't know. We've been down that road before, but we'll see.
Yeah.
The other story is when we just got trying to process in our brain the catastrophe in Nepal with that unbelievable flood, massive mudslide. We had one right down our own Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
This past couple of days, the Grand Canyon received extensive damage through the Trans-Canyon water lines and infrastructure there in what they call the Bright Angel Canyon area. And they had a huge mudslide and a flash flood go through the area. Park officials say that 2 people were killed, 15 may be missing. They did retrieve the body of one person. They haven't been able to identify that person yet. They are airlifting people out of the canyon with helicopters that seem to be trapped up on the sides. But again, another flash flood right down the Colorado River in the Grand Canyon.
And this area is prone for these things, so they were kind of ready. The park rangers came in and warned folks and then evacuated. So they did a pretty good job. Unfortunately, there is the one fatality so far that we know of.
Yeah. So this isn't unusual, but it is unusual. I mean, it's big and it's fast. But you got to remember that part of the country, you get those afternoon thunder showers, and they can dump a lot of rain real fast.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's one. The DHS is pushing voter fraud probes in 9 states, and as you can imagine, this is getting a lot of pushback. But anyway, the Department of Homeland Security is preparing to launch a new surge of voter fraud investigation in the 9 states beginning today. According to the eternal federal guidelines. We'll see how that goes. States like Wisconsin, Missouri, Georgia, California, Pennsylvania, Nevada, New York, and others, they're going to be looked at heavily as part of the actions that the president's taking, trying to clean up voter fraud. I have no idea what the extent of this is, but they're going in.
Yeah.
Here's pre-midterm elections.
Yeah, well, we know a lot of these states are resistant to cleaning up their voter rolls.
Right.
And for good reason.
Ours included.
Yeah, and ours included. So, who should be in oversight? Who's left but the federal government?
Well, I think there's some blurry lines here where the government, or excuse me, the Supreme Court said to the president, yes, you can go ahead and look at voter rolls. But they haven't decided as to whether or not the post office should be the ones that police who gets the ballot.
Right.
And I was thinking, wait a minute, is a post office delivery person supposed to run around and look at a voter guide as to whether or not they're going to deliver that letter?
No, it's done in the post office.
Okay, in the post office.
You got the postmasters involved.
Okay, so is that their job?
It's going to be now, I guess. Yeah.
Well, they haven't ruled on that one.
No, I guess not. But
Yeah.
who else can do it?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
But this is an interesting thing. So we'll see how that goes.
All right.
All right. In the meantime, this is interesting. The Trump administration yesterday shut down 270 driving schools
Yeah, this
in
is
a fraud crackdown.
Yeah, for truck drivers.
For truck drivers.
Right.
And apparently thousands of foreigners have been given CDLs that couldn't even pass English tests.
Exactly. They, just a little, minor requirement of speaking English was being overlooked.
And these guys were getting passed like crazy, and they shut it down. So here's what the Transportation Secretary Duffy had to say about this.
Don't hire people who can't speak English, can't read English, or you're all going to be subject to this task force. You could be here, you could have migrated to this country. You could have done it legally. But if you don't speak English, you're still violating our long-standing safety rules that you have to speak English. So this is not just about people who have come into the country illegally, which is a part of it. It also involves fraudulent schools.
Well, look, this is serious as a heart attack. How many of these guys out there, with all due respect, gals, are driving these trucks? They're illegal. They got a CDL. They can't speak English. You wonder if they could read the signs.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is their motive?
Whose motive? The schools?
Well,
Or
the school's making money by being fraudulent.
Bingo.
Okay.
Yes.
But what's the driver's motive?
Money. They want to make money. They want to work. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'll stop there. But anyway,
Okay.
I got my thoughts, but I'll keep it.
Oh, I can't wait for the next break.
The judge today is going to decide whether or not Tyler Robertson will stand trial in the Charlie Kirk killing. This is so interesting because the 23-year-old defendant turned himself in the day after the shooting. There's some people saying that he was set up, he's part of something else, somebody else pulled the trigger. But his attorneys have presented no other alternative theory in Charlie Kirk's death. So it appears that the judge today will decide as to whether or not he can stand trial. There's, there's enough evidence. Remember, this is the pre-trial. I can't see where he can't say he can't stand trial.
I can't see where anybody would be able to say that he shouldn't be able to stand trial. This is crazy.
Well, especially when their attorneys did not come up with an alternative.
Yeah,
I mean, if the defense attorney job is to put doubt into a pretrial hearing, this would have been the place to do it, and they presented nothing.
They have a lot of evidence in this. I can't imagine this going any other way.
I do know that Turning Point is kind of on standstill until this whole procedure is done. So, but anyway, yesterday I had one of Charlie Kirk's right-hand people on the air for a while, and she wrote a book about Charlie Kirk. And anyway, this is just amazing.
Yeah.
Do you realize September 10th, it'll be a year?
That's amazing, yeah. Yeah.
One day before September 11th?
I remember it so
Wow.
Oof.
Okay, and then, well, the president's been pretty anxious about bringing drug prices down. Which I think everybody's in favor of that.
Yeah.
Which is also kind of evident that these drug companies were charging too much.
Well, yeah, we saw that. Yeah.
And it's happening all over the place. I mean, you know, other countries don't have this problem. Our drug prices were way up
Well, and
there.
that's the big thing. They can show examples where drug prices are significantly different, say, in Europe than they are here. Yeah.
So anyway, the Trump administration. Some people may think he's on drugs, but
Okay.
no. But they went after this to slow it all down. And here's what the president had to say.
The United States represents less than 5% of the global population and only consumes 13% of all prescription drugs. So when you think of that, it's pretty amazing. So it's 13% of all prescription drugs, yet for years, pharmaceutical companies have taken 75% of their profits from the United States. So with a small percentage of the drugs, they make most of their money from the United States, meaning they're ripping us off, but not any longer.
Well, I don't think we've ever seen a business-oriented President hawk like he is. And whether you like him or not, there's something happening with this administration every day.
Sure, yeah.
And this is a big one to get drug prices down, and especially with insurance companies and the price of medication
How's
today.
his website doing? How's that Trump RX thing doing?
You know, I don't know.
I don't either.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
But anyway, another win there. And here's another win. Yesterday, the Supreme Court said to President Trump, this was a 5-4 decision that the construction on the east wing of the White House ballroom can continue. The Supreme Court delivered the win to the president, ruling that the construction of the $400 million White House ballroom can continue. The decision was 5-4. As you know, it was stopped in the lower court, and it was brought to the higher court, and they said, no, he can keep going. They also said this may not be the end of it. This issue could ultimately return to the Supreme Court, but right now it's moved forward, and here's the one that's the twist. And that is Chief Justice John Roberts was part of the dissent.
And he wrote kind of a scathing dissent on it. He was saying this is probably illegal.
Well, yes, he wrote a very bad dissent, but here's what's interesting about this. This is costing the government nothing.
Well, right, yes.
The president has raised all the money for this.
True, yes.
So the argument is whether or not the president had the authority to take federal property and do something with it.
Okay, my question is this. So construction continues, and they've been working on this thing. It has not slowed down.
Oh, no, and you know what? He's got them in high speed.
Right, because this guy's a real estate developer. He knows how to do this. Okay, so down the road, say the Supreme Court looks at this again and says, yeah, it really is illegal. You guys, you can't do this. What are they going to do? Tear this stuff down? Does it get to the point of no return?
Well, they're there now.
Okay,
they're there now. I mean, I think the issue here is that let's do anything we can to damage the president and embarrass him. But to your point, I think it's past the point of no return.
think so.
What are you going to do? Take it all out and rebuild what was there, which is going to cost you federal dollars, and this is costing you no dollars.
Right. Yes.
You know, so he's kind of beat them at their own game.
I think so.
So the question is the legality. Does the president have the authority to do this? And I don't know. Is this part of presidential powers? Is this part of executive orders? What is it?
I don't know. Yesterday we had a special on playing chess. Is this the president saying, checkmate? I don't know.
I don't know. What's the old saying? Everybody's playing checkers. The president's playing chess.
True. Yeah.
Okay, well, so much for all that stuff. Those are some of the big stories on this Tuesday. Happy September 1st. We'll take a quick, what do we have to eat?
We got burnt ends. Come on, man.
We'll be right back.
Okay.
Great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning.
When life feels heavy, your body feels it, your mind feels it. That is why I created Organic Elements Wellness Spa, a place where wellness is not a luxury, it's a way of life. Step into our wellness lounge with a Himalayan salt room, infrared sauna, steam room, and invigorating cold plunge. Restore your nervous system, detox your body, and clear your mind. Then experience customized massage, advanced skin therapies, and result-driven facials, all designed to help you look as good as you feel. There's nothing else like this in Southern Oregon. This is your space to heal, to reset, to glow. Call today to book your private wellness party for up to 15 guests or surprise someone special with a gift certificate.
Visit Organic Elements Wellness Spa on East Main Street in Medford. Book online at organicelementspa.com. Wellness is wholeness. Voted best of Southern Oregon. They travel across America to give an answer for questions, doubts, and challenges concerning faith.
The Gospels are historically reliable.
Their mission, present truth, faith, and help people find purpose.
Not based on blind faith.
Join them as they strive to make a lasting impact on lives and hearts for Christ.
They're either all wrong or one of them's right. I got to go to the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
Don't miss Give Me an Answer, weekdays at 3 on the Dove TV.
There may have never been another time in history when end times prophecy has been more aligned with the culture and circumstances of the world than it is today. I believe there are 10 phenomena we are witnessing today that were recorded centuries ago in Bible prophecy.
Join Dr. David Jeremiah in his series, Where Do We Go From Here? On the next episode of Turning Point, right here on this station.
Weekends on the Dove TV.
There you are. How y'all doing out there? Happy Tuesday. Let's see. Here we are with a significant weather change starting today. We'll show you a little bit of a satellite image coming in. Back into our own backyard, we have a great election going on. The latest polls show that Christine Drazan is ahead of sitting Governor Tina Kotek. And apparently Tina Kotek's policies, and especially when she was trying, she's running around crying affordability while she was trying to jam a $4.3 billion tax down our neck on people who can't afford more taxes.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so Christine is doing well. One of the issues that kind of popped up that's kind of interesting. It was a little contentious at first. It's now kind of have fallen out of the rhetoric. So let me ask you a question, Mr. Building.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you for or against data centers?
Well, what am I running for?
Well, it could be the border.
Dog catcher.
Maybe the border.
Well,
See, you're making the point here.
Yeah. Well, this is a very controversial subject, but they're here to stay. We do know that I look at who's opposing data centers, and we see a fringe element of the far right who are against this, but the big push against data centers really is the left, and especially DSA. And if DSA, which is funded by, what's his name, Singham, or what is sitting over?
Oh, yeah, in China?
Yeah. And if this is the money that's pushing us to avoid data centers, meaning that then delivers it to the Chinese, I think that smells like something to me, and I think that whatever the DSA is for, I need to be against.
Okay. Here's a couple of facts. Okay, a couple of facts are that sooner or later, data centers are going to be as important as a gas station.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, and the question is, where are they going to be built? And the left so far has done an excellent job of demonizing them because they require a lot of electricity and a lot of water. I get that.
Right.
Okay, so the question is, how do you look at this situation when this is going to be something that's going to be part of our lifestyle, whether we like it or not? Can you get in front of this argument? So what Governor Kotek wants to do is create a bill that doesn't allow them to even be considered in the state of Oregon.
Well, that speaks a mouthful, right?
Okay, that's a problem.
Right.
Or, as Christine would say, and I'm kind of paraphrasing her position, is this should be a community decision. A community should have the right to want it or reject it. Okay, it does employ a lot of people to get them built, but once they're built, it does not employ a lot of people. It does employ people, but not tons, not hundreds of people. Yeah. But the bottom line is, in today's world of technology, this is going to be as important as the grid.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well.
And what are you going to do with this?
Yeah.
Okay. So apparently it's popped up in some of these debates. It's not a deal breaker for some, but what the left is trying to do is demonize it out of existence and maybe even create a bill where they can't even be considered in the state of Oregon, which I think would be a huge mistake. Is there a place in our state for these data centers? And I would say yes. We just got to figure it out.
Right. Right.
Okay. Send Jerry the.
Well, it's also like, are you in favor of developing oil fields in your neighborhood?
Well, there you go. What was it? N-I-B-Y.
N-I-B-Y. What's that?
Not in my backyard.
Okay.
Nibby. Yeah.
But we need them.
Yeah, N-I-B-Y.
Yeah.
Not in my backyard.
Well, unless it's on my property, I'll take it then.
Well, just pay me a lot of money for it.
Exactly.
Okay.
I want the mineral rights. Thank you very much. Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at the satellite image. Here's what's going on. This says it all. Look at this system coming at us.
Hot dog.
All right, and this is going to be a delivering of some rain. We could see some maybe late this evening, but certainly by tomorrow. And into Wednesday, we will see some rain. There we go.
Well, speaking of radar, this was off the radar for me. Maybe you're in tune to this, but Vice President Vance responds to a reporter's question asking him why did the president post an AI-generated video of Karg Island being bombed? Was it a warning?
On Iran, the president tweeted some AI-generated video of bombing of Karg Island. Was that meant to be a warning, or what was the messaging there? Why did the president tweet that?
Well, you know, like the president likes to switch it up on social media a little bit. He would be the first to say he doesn't make announcements about military actions on social media, but I think that he's sending a message to the Iranians. Look, we know that they continue to shoot at commercial shipping. We continue to have a lot of tools at our disposal to prevent them from doing so, or at least cut down on them from doing so. And that's what the president is saying is, look, you guys are shooting at commercial shipping. You guys are behaving like a terrorist country. You've got to stop, or there are going to be some consequences.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, in the meantime, the G20 is around the corner, and Secretary of Treasury Scott Bessent's going to go there and basically tell people that, explain to them why the sanctions on Iran are important and why they are working and what it means to countries that don't cooperate.
Yeah.
The G20 is going to be completely controlled by the Trump administration.
Absolutely. Yes.
It's amazing.
It is.
I know people don't like that, but you got to deal with the idea, with the fact that we've never had an active president like this. Never.
Right.
He's got his fingers in everybody's business. Some like it, some don't. So, all right. Well, I'm going to get my fingers in a piece of pie, or what do we have? Oh, burnt ends.
Put it in a pot pie.
We'll be right back.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
In Christ alone, my hope is found. He is my light, my strength, my song.
Since 1934, Grange Co-op has been more than just a store. We've been a cornerstone of our community, owned by people like you. We proudly offer top-quality farm and ranch supplies, including our own Rogue feed, as well as workwear, Western apparel, garden essentials, and pet care products. By signing up as a Grange Rewards customer, you not only enjoy exclusive benefits like special offers and 1% back on most purchases, but you also become part of something bigger, a cooperative that you own and help shape. Join Grange Rewards today.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Metal Masters can give you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable. Trust Metal Masters to provide perfect air for your family.
Lennox. Air is life. Make it perfect.
They travel across America to give an answer for questions, doubts, and challenges concerning faith.
The Gospels are historically reliable.
Their mission, present truth, faith, and help people find purpose.
Not based on blind faith.
Join them as they strive to make a lasting impact on lives and hearts for Christ.
They're either all wrong or one of them's right. I got to go to the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
Don't miss Give Me an Answer, weekdays at 3 on the Dove TV.
The Dove is making it easier to take our trusted, faithful content with you wherever you go with the new Dove.us website and our new Dove mobile app. It's a fresh new way to watch, listen, read, and connect with the Dove 24/7. It's an improved experience for you, designed with easy navigation to help you quickly find what you need. Visit the new Dove.us today and download the radio and TV app for Apple and Android devices. An easier way to experience the Dove.
Back, happy Tuesday. It's a Tuesday, September
1st. It's amazing. Yeah.
And you know, we don't have a full sunrise until like 7.
Right.
The days are getting shorter.
Yes.
I have let's see, the first day of, do I have that here?
Okay.
Hold on. It's on another calendar I have. When the first day of autumn is. I don't have it here.
But you know what I'm getting asked? You know, I keep bringing up the point that you predicted like 2.5 weeks ago we're going to get rain on September 3rd.
Yeah.
Everybody's asking me, who told him? Who told him? And I said, I don't know. He won't confide in me on that. I said, who told him?
It just shows you that I'm closer to God than you are.
Okay.
He told me.
Okay.
Just kidding. That's a joke.
Okay.
All right, good morning to you. Well, let's check in with CBN News. There's a lot going on in the Middle East. Small drones, growing threats, everything else. Let's check in and see what's going on.
It's small, easily modified, and accessible to almost anyone. Drones like this could be a camera, a hobby, or in the wrong hands, a weapon. And as this technology continues to evolve, so do efforts to counter it, with new security measures emerging not just in war zones, but in the skies over the U.S.
Drones can come from any height, any azimuth. And so it makes it a little bit more challenging to plan for the safety of that because you have to protect from all directions and all angles.
We saw the scale of that challenge on display during the World Cup. Federal, state, and local authorities seizing more than 700 drones across 11 U.S. host cities. While officials say none were weaponized, each unknown drone had to be treated as a potential threat. FBI Supervisory Special Agent Aaron Snyder heads up the agency's counter-UAS operations unit. He tells CBN News the worst-case scenario is a drone equipped with an explosive device, although they can be used maliciously in many other ways.
And this could be for something that would look very similar to a military-type attack, or it could be something more low-key for, say, an intelligence-gathering activity. Or it could be something for a more traditional criminal use where they're getting more creative with the use of drones, say, for the transportation of narcotics and other contraband.
Their devastating effect has already been demonstrated on international battlefields. Snyder says here at home, the FBI is primarily focused on smaller, cheaper drones, technology available to almost anyone. And defending against them is complicated. Mainly because no single system exists that can handle every drone threat scenario.
So counter drone requires a layered solution because the range of threats is so great.
Currently, some of those layers involve long-range detection, active radar, and cameras for identifying and tracking drones, plus a way to stop them.
Try to use energy-based systems to confuse the drone, either shoo it away or maybe try to cyber take it over. But then when that fails, you have to have a physical way to remove the drone from the airspace. And that's where we come in. So we have drones that go up and hunt other drones, move them out of the airspace.
Fordham Technologies was part of the counter-drone security operation for the World Cup. Their drone hunter system is a drone itself, equipped with a net that can bring other drones down in a safe and controlled manner. This approach is important in urban settings where shooting a drone out of the sky could create other danger on the ground below. CEO John Gruen says this security need is here to stay, and he's talking with federal law enforcement agencies on how to expand it.
In the future, you don't just protect the stadium and the parking lot. You got to protect all of the transport hubs. So you have to protect the metro station, the airport, the railways, the freeways, all the gatherings, so the watch parties, the threat. If they figure out that the stadium itself is too hard to target, they're going to go after the softer targets.
In preparation for the World Cup, federal agencies were allowed to train state and local law enforcement teams in the counter-drone mission. Snyder's unit trains those officers not just to use the technology, but to determine when a drone actually poses a threat.
That really is our number one counter-UAS tool, is to get officers and agents over to talk with the pilot. That's how we can really determine what the intent of that pilot is.
While most domestic drone activity remains harmless, the threat is evolving. Last year, the Pentagon created Joint Interagency Task Force 401 with the mission of getting better technology into the hands of law enforcement and U.S. forces faster. In a statement to CBN News about counter-drone systems, Task Force spokesman Lieutenant Colonel Adam Schur said, quote, "Systems need to be able to get updated over the air the same way your iPhone does. We need to be able to buy a piece of equipment today that can be upgraded with the latest software 6 months from now instead of having to buy an entirely new iPhone every time there's an iOS patch. Meanwhile, Homeland Security is selecting Fordham as one of several companies that can provide counter-drone technology under a 5-year program with more than $1 billion available for purchases.
The U.S. is mobilizing. It started probably 2 years ago in a real way, and now we're really ramping up. We're behind the threat. We're now getting out ahead of the threat, and we're just gonna have to stay there.
Staying ahead of the threat could get harder as the skies become more crowded. Delivery drones, commercial drones, eventually even air taxis could all share the same airspace. So the next challenge isn't just spotting a drone. It's distinguishing between those that belong and those that don't. Caitlin Burke, CBN News, Washington.
Oh, goodness.
Well, look, Middle East.
Oh, yeah.
You know, wait, tomorrow will be another headline. All right, let's check out the weather as on this first day of September. Let's see what's happening in that department.
Southerly winds bring precipitation and cooler temperatures across northern Oregon and southern Washington, with cloudy skies and a slight chance of rain this afternoon for Vancouver, Portland, and McMinnville, all in the low 70s. Clouds continue in Wilsonville with a daytime high of 73. Through the Willamette Valley, mostly cloudy across the region for Salem and Eugene near 72, a slight chance of rain, and cloudy in low 70s in Albany and Corvallis with a low of 54 later tonight. A chance of showers in central Oregon turns partly sunny for Prineville, Bend, and Sun River, with highs in the mid-70s to low 80s. Thunderstorms in Boise clear to partly sunny and 89 with wind gusts as high as 26 miles an hour. Along the Oregon coast, fog and a chance of showers in Coos Bay and Port Orford, with highs in the upper 60s to lower 70s, while Brookings and Crescent City settle into the mid-50s to around 60. Southern Oregon sees cooler highs in the mid-70s with partly sunny skies in Grants Pass and Medford, followed by a chance of thunderstorms, mostly sunny in Ashland and Klamath Falls with increasing clouds later in the day. In Northern California, mostly sunny and mid-70s in Wairika and Redding with a chance of thunderstorms, while Chico is partly sunny and 77. Over in Fort Bragg, chance of showers and patchy fog with a high of 60. The Bay Area sees a chance of rain before cloudy skies in 70 in Santa Rosa and partly sunny in 68 for Napa. San Francisco and San Jose start with patchy fog and drizzle before turning partly sunny in the upper 60s to low 70s. For Central California, mostly sunny in Sacramento, Stockton, and Modesto with areas of smoke in the mid to upper 70s. Fresno, Visalia, and Bakersfield reach the mid-80s under sunny skies with lows in the 50s. And that's a snapshot of your Tuesday weather on the Dove.
Oh, yeah. I hear the banjo. We're looking back because it was on this day in history that the very first woman telephone operator was hired. It was kind of interesting who hired her and why. It was to solve.
Was she the gal on Laugh-In?
One ringy dingy, two ringy. No, that was Lily Tomlin.
Oh, yeah.
That was a great character, though. Yes.
She snorted and said one ringy dingy, two ringy dingy.
We don't even need to play this, but let's do it. Let's do it anyway.
On September 1st, 1878, the voice of the telephone changed forever. Emma M. Nutt of Boston became the world's first female telephone operator. And there's a funny story behind why she got the job. The first telephone operators were mostly teenage boys, some barely into their teens. They'd been good telegraph operators, but apparently talking to actual customers was another matter. They were known for being impatient, playing pranks, roughhousing, and even swearing at callers. So Alexander Graham Bell decided to try something different. He hired Emma Nutt, whose patient, pleasant voice proved such a hit that women soon replaced the boys almost entirely. And here's a fun fact. Just a few hours after Emma started, her sister Stella became the world's second female telephone operator. Emma stayed on the job for more than 30 years. So in 1878, the telephone industry discovered an important lesson. Sometimes the best way to improve customer service is to simply replace the teenage boys.
There you go.
Yeah. One ringy dingy, two ringy dingy. All right. Well, there's a new film coming out. Daniel in the fiery furnace.
Oh.
Okay. Oh. And, of course, this is the backdrop of his exile into Babylon. And here's the trailer of the new film.
When the world commands you to kneel, what do you stand for?
Daniel, what is it?
Last night,
Another dream?
one that made me unsure of God's plan.
Babylon is at the gates!
I, King Nebuchadnezzar, have been called to conquer these people here of Judah and deliver them to the promised land of Babylon. You are my people now.
Is this it?
This is only the beginning. Teach them how to pray, and do not be afraid. Jeremiah, the word of God will watch over our people.
Where is this invisible God of yours?
For God's ways are not all known to man.
Bring out the wise men in Babylon. If the Magi cannot remind me of my dream, they will burn in the furnace.
No one on earth can explain to the king the mystery of his dream. But there is a God in heaven who reveals mysteries.
I want to build a Neo-Babylonian empire.
If anyone should resist, they should be put to death.
Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego. We need to pray like our lives depend on it.
As men made in your image, we look to you. We look to you, Lord.
My people bow down. Why not you?
We do not worship false idols.
This is the day that will be written in stone. I will stand for my faith and my God. Will you?
All right, coming up sometime this month, they did not bend, they did not bow, and they did not burn. In fact, they didn't even have the smell of smoke.
That looks really good.
Yeah, well done.
What production.
Well, you know, AI being what it is.
Oh, my
days.
goodness.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Oh, God.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site, in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare. Your loved one can spend the day with us, and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living, your home.
In a time when our culture faces unprecedented challenges,
I want to talk about the role of a Christian even in a hostile culture.
Christian apologist and evangelist Alex McFarland addresses the hard-hitting questions about faith, morality, and culture.
People are hungry for truth, and we've got to rise to the challenge of our assignment as the church.
Know your faith better to be equipped to defend it in a world searching for answers.
But when you put the face of like an earthly man on God, then you're never going to understand who God is.
God takes pleasure in you, and the very sight of you is joy and blessing.
Alex McFarland, inspiring believers through apologetics to boldly stand for truth in a critical time. Catch him Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday on the Dove TV, encouraging and informative. More at theDove.us.
All right, welcome back. Happy first day of September. 11 minutes before the hour. The other day I had Corey Miller on. He's an interesting guy. He wrote a book about the miseducation. In other words, it's kind of like what's not being taught in public schools, what's purposely being let out. But I did ask him to explain the phrase that he uses, progressive miseducation in public education. And here's what he said in explaining that.
Gramsci talked about the long march through the institutions. And the game plan was that in order to have revolution in the West, you need to ensconce yourselves first in academia, media, and then in ecclesia. That's church, because that's the soft tissue of Western culture that Marxism had no capital with, if you will. They couldn't do a frontal assault like in Russia or in China because there was this soft tissue in culture and it kept propping itself back up. So they needed this, and they needed to get fully ensconced in our education system, beginning with the colleges of education in the universities that then train our K through 12. My daughter is a senior at a university in elementary education. She's going to be teaching third graders. I look at all the syllabi that she gets from her classes, and there is Marxism riddled through. So suppose she wants to go teach at a Christian school all the way down to kindergarten. Guess what she would be taking with her? So it's not like Christians can escape this and then go into the private schools, because we're getting everything from the top down. This is a petri dish, and you're even seeing it using religious language. So we have in politics people like James Tallarico, who says that God is non-binary and that Jesus is a socialist anarchist, and that trans community, they need abortion care too. Well, he is seminary trained, not just Harvard, but from a seminary. Or Raphael Warnock, the senator in Georgia, who likewise did his PhD at a leftist seminary, and he trained under James Cone, the father of modern Black liberation theology, which is nothing more than a hybrid of Marxism and Christianity. So they're using common language to get smuggled in to all levels of the church, from campus ministries to seminaries to Christian academic societies and, of course, churches. And the problem is that the evangelical church, unlike its first 1900 years, has literally excommunicated the life of the mind. And so we allow this bad ideology to come in and subvert the gospel of Christ for something else.
Well, look, he has, 2 earned PhDs in education. He's quite a guy. Here's the thing that's so interesting to me is that there's a lot to complain about in all areas. Yeah. But one thing I have noticed over the last 4 years, it really did start over COVID, but it ended up being other things. But over the last 4 years, from what I can tell, and I've looked at a lot of stuff here, and I'm not a pro on it, but I'm just do what I do. Every major denomination, every one, has split over LGBTQ.
Yeah, and what's their...
Every one of them.
Yeah, and why?
Because they want to think that the Christian thing to do is to go ahead and allow people who have these leanings or professions or proclamations to be in leadership.
Oh, yeah.
So the church really hasn't figured out a way. How do you handle somebody that's struggling in this area? But it doesn't mean that they are qualified to serve or lead in the church. They are a broken child who needs a lot of healing. So the way you skip over that is that church denominations say, all right, so, well, if you are a same-sex attraction person and you're celibate, we'll go ahead and ordain you as a pastor. And it's splitting churches down the middle.
So we're just basically whitewashing. The basic question is, what is sin?
It is, and I think that the other thing, we just ran the trailer. Are you ready to go to the fiery furnace for what you believe? That doesn't make you super spiritual, but where are you? It goes back to what I say, and I'm not a prophet, or a son of one. But here's the deal. Do you know what you believe? Here's the next question. Do you know why what you believe? Do you know why you believe that? And here's the next question. Can you gracefully defend it? You can't defend something unless you have it in the core of your spirit. But if you're just parroting what somebody else told you, then you're easily swayed. Okay? So the Christian church is under the microscope with one thumb, I believe, from God, honest to say, what is it that you really believe? Do you really trust me? Do you really believe this? Do you really believe what my word says? Why are we spending so much time trying to find an exception to it? And why are we finding so much time splitting over the non-essentials at the cost of the essentials? I don't understand. That's why we have so many denominations out there.
Great point. Yep.
You know, and so we're in this time. We're in this time. So it's in education. It's in the church, and are you aware of it? And are you aware of what your kids are getting? And most importantly, are you aware of what your children are not being taught?
Yep, yep.
You know, which is a big deal.
Right. Well, we're going to move fast to get
Okay,
this.
go.
Let's a really great look at compassion. Check this out.
A Bronx pizza shop owner saw a woman eating food from his restaurant's trash, but instead of looking away, Daniel Romano walked over, took her by the hand, and brought her inside. He went straight to the oven and gave her a fresh slice of pizza. The woman began to cry. Romano told her there was nothing to be embarrassed about. He said, "I don't want you eating out of the garbage." The moment stayed with him, so Romano put a handwritten sign outside his pizzeria. It said in part, "Please tell me you're hungry. I will give you a slice of pizza." Anyone who needs a meal can come in for a free slice and water, no questions asked. And then something beautiful happened. People from across the country began calling, offering to pay for slices so Romano could feed even more people. What started with one hungry woman and one act of kindness has become a community effort. Because sometimes a slice of pizza fills an empty stomach, but being treated with dignity can fill something else entirely.
Combining your home and auto insurance could save you time and money. And who doesn't like that? Want surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life? Now's the time to call State Farm agent Rory Wold in Medford.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Tuesday, Israel's path to victory in the Middle East.
We will be able to achieve unimaginable victory on all the fronts.
And it's one that won't be fought on the battlefield.
Israel is finally becoming a light unto the nations.
And the new thriller from the author of The Harbinger, Jonathan Cahn, returns. Discover what links the seed of Satan to Adolf Hitler and what it means for our future. Discover the mystery behind the altar of Pergamon.
The financial world can be a complicated puzzle. Watching Financial Issues equips you to navigate it with financial wisdom and advice rooted in biblical truth.
Just be faithful in what God has called you to do, and He's called all of us to be good stewards, Mark.
Financial expert Mark Manila empowers believers to be faithful stewards while navigating the markets, politics, and economy with confidence.
When we see pricing drop, that's a good thing, I believe, across the board.
Providing you with responsible investment insight, market economic analysis, and stewardship guidance, helping believers align their finances with their faith.
Test all things. Embrace those that are good and abstain from those that are evil.
Whether you're a seasoned investor or just beginning, gain wisdom, clarity, and confidence to honor God with every financial decision. Don't miss Financial Issues, weekdays at 5 on the Dove TV. The Dove TV is pleased to announce we're now seen in the Sacramento, Stockton, Modesto area via a new full-power TV station, KEDS, seen on cable, satellite TV, and over the air. The Dove TV, encouraging and informative for the Sacramento, Stockton, Modesto area on new full power KEDS TV. You're watching the Dove TV, encouraging and informative for Bend and Central Oregon, seen on KBND 14 and these Dove TV affiliates. Good morning. You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative, helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
Well, good morning to you. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to September 1st. Jerry's here.
Yeah.
And today's the first day of September. Can you believe that?
No. It crept up pretty quickly.
Okay, by the way, it is our new devotionals start today. So we send these out every quarter. This will be September, October, November. If you haven't received yours in the mail, please let us know. They were sent out quite a while ago. If you've never had a copy of this, we'll send it to you, no obligation. Our calling is to be seen, heard, and read. Seen with your eyes, heard with your ears, and read with the word in your hand.
Right.
Okay, so we have these available, and we'll get one out to you right away. If you need an extra copy for a friend, let us know. And also, you may have received, I got ours in the mail the other day, our new publication called The Studio Insider. Melinda does this, excellent job. And this is kind of like a peek behind the scenes here. Okay. But what's really cool about it is it has our program guide in there for the TV and for the radio.
Yeah.
And it'll tell you in detail, because it's so hard to do it on the air, all the places you can listen and watch the Dove TV and radio.
Really nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
And there's 42 pictures of Jerry in here.
Oh, no. That's the only thing that's questionable about that.
No, there's a bunch of them in here, and he's smiling anyway. But let us know. We'll get those out there. Good morning to you. Happy Tuesday. Here we go. September 1st. What's up?
Well, first of all, it's National Forgiveness Day.
Oh, yes.
A day to embrace healing, understanding, and unity by encouraging forgiveness and fostering empathy. I'm sorry we need one day to remind us of it. Should be a daily thing that, we're cognizant of. But if it's on your heart right now, think about doing it. Forgive someone. How about that? Yeah. It's also National No Rhyme Nor Reason Day, recognizing words that do not rhyme with any other words in the English language, called refractory rhymes. And words such as orange, month, silver, spirit, chimney, purple, woman, ninth, and pint. Steve weighed in last hour and said, I think orange can rhyme with forage or porridge. I said, no, only if they're spelled forange or porridge. And he said, well, Bob Dylan could make it work.
Marv.
Thanks, Steve.
I was trying to think of a word for orange.
Yeah.
So there's a name for poetry that doesn't rhyme.
Yes, right.
There's a phrase for it. I don't know what it is.
It's called anything but poetry. It's not poetry.
Yeah, so the old roses are red, violets are blue?
Yeah, I know, I'm waiting.
Okay, so what comes next is up to you?
Yeah. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, you can add what you want to that.
Thank you very much.
Right.
And eat some burnt ends. It is National Burnt Ends Day. Are you ready for some flavor and sauce? Well, Burnt Ends Day on September 1st is your chance to celebrate one of the tastiest barbecue celebrations. Once considered trimmings or leftovers, burnt ends come from the point of a brisket. The name comes from the longer cooking time required for a tender brisket, and as a result, these thinner points become a little charred and tougher than the rest of the meat. Delicious on their own, burnt ends also taste amazing on sandwiches and in stews. So, have some burnt ends.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, brisket's good.
Yeah, a brisket burnt end is good, yeah.
Why not?
Well, that's where you got to get Dan Camden out here.
Absolutely, yes.
Get his Traeger out here. And you cook that thing, I think, for 11 hours or something like that.
We don't need Dan just when things are broken. We can have him come out.
No, we need him to come out here and cook when things are...
Yeah, looking good. When he's got time.
All right.
That's it.
That's all I got. Let's check out the bird ends and weather this morning, if there are any.
Southerly winds bring precipitation and cooler temperatures across northern Oregon and southern Washington, with cloudy skies and a slight chance of rain this afternoon for Vancouver, Portland, and McMinnville, all in the low 70s. Clouds continue in Wilsonville with a daytime high of 73. Through the Willamette Valley, mostly cloudy across the region for Salem and Eugene near 72. A slight chance of rain, then cloudy in low 70s in Albany and Corvallis with a low of 54 later tonight. A chance of showers in central Oregon turns partly sunny for Prineville, Bend, and Sun River, with highs in the mid-70s to low 80s. Thunderstorms in Boise clear to partly sunny and 89 with wind gusts as high as 26 miles an hour. Along the Oregon coast, fog and a chance of showers in Coos Bay and Port Orford, with highs in the upper 60s to lower 70s, while Brookings and Crescent City settle into the mid-50s to around 60. Southern Oregon sees cooler highs in the mid-70s with partly sunny skies in Grants Pass and Medford, followed by a chance of thunderstorms, mostly sunny in Ashland and Klamath Falls with increasing clouds later in the day. In Northern California, mostly sunny and mid-70s in Wairika and Redding with a chance of thunderstorms, while Chico is partly sunny and 77. Over in Fort Bragg, chance of showers and patchy fog with a high of 60. The Bay Area sees a chance of rain before cloudy skies in 70 in Santa Rosa and partly sunny in 68 for Napa. San Francisco and San Jose start with patchy fog and drizzle before turning partly sunny in the upper 60s to low 70s. For Central California, mostly sunny in Sacramento, Stockton, and Modesto with areas of smoke in the mid to upper 70s. Fresno, Visalia, and Bakersfield reach the mid 80s under sunny skies with lows in the 50s. And that's a snapshot of your Tuesday weather on the Dove.
And there's a picture of our South Valley this morning. That's looking down to the southwest, and right around that ridge would be Jacksonville. To the left would be Ashland. That's kind of looking down over the Phoenix Talent area. So we're still a little ways away from a full sunrise, but clouds coming in over the top of us as we are expecting some rain, and we're looking forward to that.
Change in the weather right on schedule, your schedule to be precise. Predicted over 2 weeks ago. I'm getting bugged over and over again. Where did he get his information?
I don't know.
Okay.
There's the Bay Bridge this morning. Those people just love to spend hours in their car. It's a new thing.
Yeah. So is there any advantage to changing lanes if you're a little slow in your...
I really don't know what it would be.
Yeah?
But you know, I was online the other day. You know what the new thing is?
What?
Are these luxury vans?
Yeah, you showed me one of those.
Have you seen those?
Yeah, yes.
They're very popular.
Right.
I mean, people would buy, like, instead of a luxury car, you buy a luxury van.
Right.
And what the deal is that you have a carpool if you guys are all traveling back and forth, and you rotate drivers.
Oh, I see. So you don't have to have a limo driver.
No. You rotate drivers and you just sit in the back and it's like first class in an airliner.
What an idea.
So this is Elk Grove this morning from the big broadcast tower down in Central California. Way out to the little foggy haze out there would be like Rancho Cordova, Sacramento. That's looking down on the Elk Grove, and that's part of the Delta system in the Central Valley.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, and a little hazy on the edges there, a little marine air.
Yeah, marine air. I don't see any boats going by.
Some changes coming. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah,
we
see
need
the
some
marine
water.
air in our picture right out our door here?
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, well, so what's this all about? God is perfect, yet he picks imperfect people to help accomplish his will on earth. What's up with that?
Well, if he can use you, he can use anybody.
Amen, bro. Here we go. Some great encouragement with Dr. Anthony George.
If God using us and blessing us was because of our strength and because we had somehow become so perfect, as if that's possible, then we would have reason to boast in our flesh and say, God, you're blessing me because I'm such a strong person, because I'm such a talented person, because I walk so perfectly with you. But God uses those of us, people like you and me, who are weak, who are inadequate, whose lives have inconsistencies in them. He uses unlikely candidates so that the truth of 1 Corinthians 1:29 would be carried out. And what does that say? That no flesh should glory in his presence. See, there's one thing a sinner can never do in the presence of God, and that is strut. And when we begin to think that we are somebody more than we are, when we begin to think that we've been blessed because of something good in us, we have gotten our eyes off of the reality. It is not the clay pot that's great, it's the treasure inside the clay pot. It's not us, it's all Him. Amen? It's all Him. God gets all the glory when He uses imperfect people. He's glorified through our imperfections, through our weaknesses, through our inadequacy. So the next time you get discouraged with other people or with yourself, you just remember that a perfect God has lovingly chosen to use imperfect people. He gets all the glory because of the treasure inside the clay pot. Well, if you're listening, say amen today.
And today.
Amen today.
All right.
Well,
yeah. I love that. There's no strutting in the presence of God.
Well, it's interesting because I pay attention to Christian strutters.
Oh, I bet you see some,
especially on media.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you bet.
You'd be surprised how many people will call me and say that God told them to tell me that their program should be on the Dove.
Oh, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an interesting experience. Now, I'm nice. Don't get me wrong.
All right.
I like listening to it.
Okay.
I'm chuckling inside because I thought, you're heading for a wall here, buddy.
Yeah, I bet.
And I don't want to be a part of it.
You go strutting right into that wall.
Yeah, and there's no mattress between you and the wall. No, seriously, that happens. That happens.
I bet. Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at the news. That's what we're doing here. The news this morning, 11 minutes past the hour. Well, the big story is the United Arab Emirates, UAE, intercepted some missiles from Iran over the last couple of hours. And these were missiles intended to go hit some U.S. military bases inside the UAE. And they intercepted them. So Iran is getting down to where they have very little left. As you know, the other day, we went in and took out their rocket launchers that were launching rockets that were putting mines inside the straits.
Yeah.
Which is kind of an interesting concept. I don't know how they do that. I got to see the mechanics on that. But anyway, so the UAE's got a little ticked off, and they went up there and took them out. So you kind of wonder, Iran's kind of got all their neighbors mad at them too.
Totally, absolutely, yeah. Yep.
The president did say yesterday in an interview that Iran is dead, and I go, okay, well, maybe not quite yet.
Right.
But all right. In the meantime, we thought the situation in Nepal with the mass mudslide coming out of China with the glacier that broke loose did kill a lot of people, and it was apocalyptic when you see it.
Yeah, it was.
Well, we had kind of our own version of that, not maybe as dramatic, but we did have a massive mudslide go down through the Grand Canyon. And apparently 2 people that we know of have been killed, 15 are still missing, and others are being airlifted out of the canyon floor by helicopter. So this is, there was some warning here.
Yeah.
But again, a lot of these huge rainstorms come down through there, and all of a sudden that canyon can turn into a roaring situation, and that was the case. And so we've had massive floods right down through the Colorado River and the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, and I guess the park rangers and such were very active and were giving warnings and then said, get out.
Yeah.
So there was some warning, but unfortunately, as you mentioned, a couple didn't make it.
Well, when you think about how the geography is there, and you have all this loose dust, dirt on the edges, and then you get a massive rain, away it goes. And so that is the case. All right, well, here's one. The DHS, Department of Homeland Security, is preparing to launch a new surge of voter fraud investigation into 9 different states. So this is going to be kind of interesting. You got Wisconsin, Washington, Georgia, California, Pennsylvania, Nevada, New York, Connecticut, and the list goes on, looking for voter fraud. As you know, the president did win partial win from the Supreme Court on voter rolls. In other words, are the voter rolls, as far as the federal government is concerned, are they registered voters of citizens? And the second part of that case is yet to be determined as to whether or not the post office can get involved and not issue, or not deliver, I should say, a ballot to somebody that's not on the list. That's a new twist.
Yeah, that is, yeah.
And so, but anyway, 9 states now are going to be heavily investigated. In the meantime, even in the state of Oregon, our Attorney General said that they're going to fight the president on this. So I don't know what that means, but we'll just have
you
to
know
wait
what
and see.
really makes sense, though, when they bring the post office into it? Because the postal inspectors deal with fraud in the Postal Service all the time.
Right.
And that, that's federal offense.
Okay.
And it's under their own umbrella. Okay. And they have their own division that, investigates this kind of stuff. Okay. So it really does make sense that they give it to them. Plus, the states are crying that, hey, wait a minute, election monitoring is states' rights. But wait a minute, if you're going through the U.S. Postal Service and now you want to have mail-in ballots, you have just given it away from just states' rights. You've put it under federal jurisdiction.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So we'll see what the Supreme Court does with that one.
Yes, indeed.
In the meantime, the president found something pretty interesting through his Secretary of Transportation. They have closed down 270 truck driving schools for fraud crackdown throughout the United States.
Wow.
So apparently they were receiving a lot of money, but issuing CDLs, commercial driving licenses, to foreigners that can't even speak English.
What's up with that?
And we know now that there's been some of these guys that's been involved in fatal accidents. They can't even read the signs.
Exactly.
And have they been properly trained to drive a Class A truck?
Great question. Yeah.
This is horrific stuff. Anyway, here's what Secretary Duffy had to say.
Don't hire people who can't speak English, can't read English, or you're all going to be subject to this task force. You could be here, you could have migrated to this country. You could have done it legally. But if you don't speak English, you're still violating our long-standing safety rules that you have to speak English. So this is not just about people who have come into the country illegally, which is a part of it. It also involves fraudulent schools.
Are you taking that recommendation to heart? Don't hire anyone who doesn't speak English. What? Wait a minute. Don't look back in engineering.
Oh, well, no, they're charismatic. Engineers, they're charismatic. They speak another language.
Okay.
Yeah.
Other than that.
It's a whole other language.
Other than that, yeah.
No, engineers are charismatic. No, well, really, tens of thousands of these guys have gotten driver's license.
Yeah.
They're not even citizens.
Yeah.
And I asked the question, did they go through, driving schools to really learn how to drive this truck?
Right. Yes. Where do you get your license?
So anyway, they've been shut down, and the investigation is going on. Well, the other case that's going to happen today, apparently in Provo, Utah, the Utah judge will decide today if there's enough evidence to put the man accused of killing Charlie Kirk on trial for aggravated murder. All this time, this has been a pre-trial.
Yeah.
And here's the turning point. Two things. Number one, the 23-year-old man turned himself in the day after the shooting. Okay, and number two, he's not entered a plea yet. Right. Okay, and number three, his attorneys have not offered an alternative theory for Kirk's death.
Well, and plus the evidence is overwhelming, and they have a lot of it.
So you have three things. He hasn't pleaded.
Yeah.
He turned himself in, and number three is his attorneys are decided there is nothing here that we can produce as an alternative. So there's plenty of physical and video evidence, and yet there are some people say that it wasn't his gun or it wasn't him shooting.
Who are those people? I
don't know.
Are they sitting in a corner with tinfoil on their head?
No, little hats with a little
beanie umbrella
with a little propeller on top.
I'm sorry. Okay.
I don't know.
I don't either.
So we'll hear from that today, but apparently this will go to full trial. Okay. Looks like it. All right. The Trump administration has announced again further decline in the prices of pharmaceutical drugs. This is a big deal. I think the president. It lays this out perfectly well. Now, whether you like them or not, listen to the statistics of this. Here's what the president had to say about this deal, but listen to these numbers.
Okay.
The United States represents less than 5% of the global population and only consumes 13% of all prescription drugs. So when you think of that, it's pretty amazing. So it's 13% of all prescription drugs. Yet for years, pharmaceutical companies have taken 75% of their profits from the United States. So with a small percentage of the drugs, they make most of their money from the United States, meaning they're ripping us off, but not any longer.
So other countries selling the same drug, significantly less. We're 5% of the population of the world. We consume 13% of the pharmaceuticals of the world, and yet the drug companies make 75% of their profit off the 13%.
Wow.
What does that tell you?
We're getting ripped off.
Ripped off.
Yeah.
So there
Right.
you go.
Yeah.
All right, the other one is, well, the president's little ballroom continues to be quite the controversy.
Little ballroom?
Well, you know, it's really the architectural drawing and renderings of this thing is just spectacular.
Oh, yeah.
So a lower court tried to shut the operation down, and the Supreme Court yesterday ruled 5-4 in favor of him continuing. Here's the problem. By the way, what's really interesting is Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts was part of the dissent.
Yeah.
It's a $400 million project that the president went out and found donations to do this, to raise the money. Here's the issue. Does the president have legal authority to do this? That's the issue.
And Robert says apparently he does not.
Okay, and I don't know, I didn't hear any of the arguments, so I don't know what's going on here. As far as it being paid for, it's not coming out of the national budget or treasury. It's being paid for by donations. So does he have the authority to do this?
Well, they're kind of kicking the can down the road on this, I think. But in the meantime, construction continues. And
at an amazing pace.
Well, yeah, this is a real estate developer who's ahead of this deal, so he knows how to, how to get this going. Do we get to the point where, regardless of what the Supreme Court weighs in as to the legality of it, that it's too far to turn back?
Well, I was pondering that question when you asked it last hour. And look, I think it's there now.
Okay.
I mean, the old is gone.
Yeah, what do you do?
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
You can just fill this in with concrete and turn it into an outdoor park, or what?
They finish it and then say, well, yeah, but you got to pay a fine.
Yeah.
It's kind of like building codes. You built on here without getting permits, so we're not gonna tear it down, but you're gonna pay some hefty fines.
All right. So does this fall under executive branch? And can he ultimately go to executive order to finish this?
That's a good question. Boy.
Executive orders being what they are, I would assume that he could, but he's trying to keep it above board on that as far as that is concerned. But, they're looking for a way to give him another black eye, but he keeps winning this one. And what's interesting? Do the numbers.
What?
If it's 5-4, and Chief Justice Roberts voted in dissent, that means a couple of liberals had to go for it.
Well, the three that we think of are always against him.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
See?
Well.
5-4. So, anyway, he gets it.
And you mentioned the executive order. He knows how to do that. Can you say Lake America?
What is it? Lake America? Lake Ontario. Now, by the way, Google has recognized that.
I saw that. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the joke is that the next move of the president will be changing the name from the Canadian geese to the Donald Ducks. You gotta laugh at that.
Yeah, you do. You do.
And I have to tell you, one of the most beautiful things to see is a Canadian goose coming in for a landing on the water.
Yeah. Oh, it is. Yes.
It is. It's majestic.
It is.
And I love watching wood ducks and mallards coming in and landing.
Yes.
They're just. It's just like. And then what's so interesting is that some people online have put air traffic control.
Oh yes,
audio
I have
it.
seen that.
So
That's great.
They take a duck out there, and it's like the duck's, talking to the control tower.
Okay.
And they bring it in. You're cleared to land. He cleared for the gear to come down. The legs come down.
Yes.
And he lands. And those Canadian geese, those big, and the snow swans.
All right. Yeah. Hey, this is the tower calling Donald Duck 1. You are clear for landing.
Oh, I can. So the big joke is he's going to change the name of the Canadian geese to the Donald Duck. All right, we'll be right back. So much for that. We'll be right back.
When darkness veils his lovely face, I rest on him.
Real Life with Jack Hibbs, now on the Dove TV every weekend. Direct from Calvary Chapel, Chino Hills, Jack challenges today's generation to understand and practice the biblical worldview, verse by verse, addressing key cultural and daily life issues. Deepen your walk with Christ to make an effective impact on your world. Don't miss Real Life with Jack Hibbs, Sundays at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. on the Dove TV. Encouraging and informative.
Okay, welcome back. A couple of stories here. Well, actually one. By the way, 2.5 million acres now is the official number burning or burned in the state of Oregon.
Gosh, yeah.
And most of those are getting under control as the weather's changing, and we welcome that, thank the good Lord. But the other part of the story is we have a big race going on, and it's highly possible that Oregon is going to get a Republican governor. Christine Drazan is doing very, very well out there. Her numbers are very good. She continues to poll against, very well against the current governor. The current governor, you know, is obviously actually ranked one of the worst governors in the United States. And I say that not to be political, it's just a fact. You go look at the numbers, and there she is. And she tried to cram a $4.3 billion tax bill down her throat, and the citizens said no. And it's still, that taste is still in their mouth.
I think so, yeah.
I suspect that Governor Kotek will start running ads probably right after Labor Day, bashing Christine to be a Trumper. And that will be her. She's running, Kotek is going to run against Trump and trying to tie her to that, while Christine is running for the future of the state and against the nonsense that this governor's throwing at us. But one of the topics that kind of came up and went away, which is kind of interesting to me. I thought this would be out front more. And I'll ask you, do we need these data centers?
Well, who's against them?
Well, the D's are.
Okay.
The D's are against them. They have done, I will say this, the D's have done a good job in demonizing.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, they do require a lot of power. They do require a lot of water. And the D's now are trying to pass legislation that they can't be built in the state of Oregon.
Right.
Christine's position on that, and I'm paraphrasing, is let each community decide for itself. But folks, look, I understand the controversy with these things, but here's the reality of it. They're going to be as important as your corner gas station.
Yeah.
That's the world we live in. So the question is, should a community that can handle this be able to have them in there? But do we really want them banned from Oregon completely? I don't think so.
No.
You know, and all the high-tech jobs that rely on this will go with it.
Right, exactly.
So that's an interesting thing. But she's going to, the current governor is going to try to bash Christine being for this because it's a Trump deal and all that nonsense. But I think the citizens in Oregon are seeing through the baloney.
And speaking of the Trump deal on it, he doesn't put his finger on any kind of Oregon politics, does he?
You know, that's a great question, because I'm a little upset with the RNC. Here's a chance for the Republican Governors Association of America to pick a governor, and they don't seem to be involved here.
I wonder why.
I don't know, and that's very disturbing to me, because if Christine pulls this off without them, that even tells you greater what is turning in Oregon, that the citizens have had enough of the nonsense. Folks, look, I don't know where you are politically, have a nice day, whatever you're thinking. Remember one thing, none of this happens unless you vote. That's the bottom line.
That's it.
All right, so much for all that stuff. Let's take a look at Wall Street for a, what is today? Tuesday, September 1st.
September 1st.
All right, thank you, Preston over at Smart Lawn. The Dow's not happy about being September 1st. It's down 227. The Nasdaq down 271 and the S&P down 49. So some significant red ink at the ringing of the bell this morning. So not a happy day with all the stuff going on around the world. In the meantime, gold still struggling, 44.12, down a little bit. Silver's down to 65. Look at the other number.
I know, just in time. I need some.
88 jumped to $92.50.
Whoa.
So buy a half a gallon today.
Yeah, well, good luck on that. Well, maybe
buy half a gallon tomorrow.
Yeah, I might be able to. Oh my goodness, but I really am. I mean, I'm going to get in line. So, you know, speaking of data centers, did you see this? Speaking with reporters, Vice President Vance clarifies the president's social media post that Americans need to get on board with data centers.
On AI, President Trump today said that Americans should get on board with wanting more data centers. How do you think that message goes over for ahead of the midterms, where this is becoming kind of a touch point in some areas?
Well, what the president said about data centers is they're an important part of the AI economy. When people build them, they have to build the power plants along with the data centers. I think probably 99% of the backlash to data centers has come in areas where building a data center means higher utility and higher electricity for the people on the ground. So I think what these companies have to do is take advantage of some of the federal deregulatory efforts that we've undertaken. If you build a data center, you should be putting power back into the grid, not taking it out. And if that is happening, I don't think the data centers are that controversial. It's when the utility bills get so much higher, that's when it's a real problem. All right, guys, we'll see you on the other side. Take care.
Thank you.
Okay, so he explained the other part of the equation, and that should be part of the requirement. So simple as that. All right, we'll take a quick banana break. We'll be right back.
Your yard is where life happens, but it can be muddy and hard to maintain. Enjoy a maintenance-free artificial turf lawn all year round with Smart Lawn LLC. No mowing, no fertilizing, no watering. Our synthetic grass is beautiful and resilient. It's certified to be lead-free, and there's no need for pesticides. Safe for your children and pets. Smart Lawn LLC has all your artificial turf and putting green areas covered beautifully. 541-941-3538.
If you don't drive it, donate it. By supporting us, you'll get even more mileage out of it.
Thank you from the Dove TV.
All right, welcome back. 26 minutes before the hour on this Back at It Tuesday, first day of September, you know, as we head down the road and changing weather coming our way. We welcome the rain. We look forward to it. Wish it was here now. All right, let's check back in with CBN News. Paul Petit talking about all the things going on there with Iran as we check in.
In a military strategy one U.S. official calls mowing the lawn, President Trump is reportedly weighing a CENTCOM plan to periodically target Iranian missile and radar capabilities before Tehran can rebuild them. Speaking to reporters, Trump simplified his strategy.
That doesn't mean we won't smack them. We'll see what happens. But we have the Strait of Hormuz in extremely good shape. You know, we're taking over. Many ships got through last night, as you know, with the Navy's assistance. And we've been averaging 30 ships a night. That's a lot.
Gulf News reports that oil shipping through Hormuz has rebounded up to 2/3 of pre-war levels. Trump repeated his vow that Tehran will never have a nuclear weapon, but quickly dismissed the idea of using one against Iran.
Well, I would never say that, but the answer is yes. I rule out there's no reason for it. What a stupid question that is, actually.
Meanwhile, Iran's supreme leader is urging Gulf states to unite against what he calls their real enemy, America and Israel. Speaking from Jerusalem to the Republican Jewish Coalition Leadership Summit, Ambassador Mike Huckabee says the conflict goes far beyond geopolitics.
this is not just a horizontal issue, the left versus the right. This is also a vertical issue. This is good versus evil. And we need to begin to frame the fact that some of what we're seeing is not a geopolitical battle, an economic battle, a military battle, a PR battle. It is a spiritual battle between the forces of darkness and the forces of light.
Vice President J.D. Vance also addressed the RJC over his criticism of Netanyahu and more cautious approach to Iran. In the closed-door meeting, he addressed declining support for Israel among younger Americans and the need to do a better job explaining why the U.S.-Israel relationship benefits America. Vance also confronted anti-Semitism. His speech reportedly received multiple standing ovations. Israel's ambassador to the United States also warned the RJC about what he sees as a growing ideological threat.
Just yesterday, the head of Qatari state-run media declared the need to, quote, remove the existence of Jews from the earth. No. What has to be removed from the earth is Qatari money from your institutions and Al Jazeera from your homes.
Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and nuclear-armed Pakistan held their first high-level meeting Monday of their new Mecca Joint Defense Agreement, a pact that Turkey says could expand. Turkey said the alliance is not aimed at any one country, but in that same meeting called Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu a, quote, common enemy of humanity.
And Paul Petit is with us now from Jerusalem. Paul, the Republican Jewish Coalition is an opportunity for GOP candidates to woo Jewish voters. You mentioned Vice President J.D. Vance spoke. Why was his portion a closed-door meeting?
Yes, Lori, this meeting was important politically to Vance, and, he's already viewed as a potential 2028 presidential candidate, and some in that very influential pro-Israel Republican community have had reservations about him, so they didn't want media there. It was closed to the press, which gave Vance an opportunity to speak directly to a constituency where he's faced some real skepticism. Now, he addressed what he called the elephant in the room, which is that reference to Israel's declining support among younger Americans. Vance also confronted anti-Semitism while defending his relationships with people like Tucker Carlson and Joe Rogan, which reportedly received multiple standing ovations, as were mentioned. Now, former White House press secretary and RJC board member Ari Fleischer may have summed it up best, saying, quote, today is not primary day, but it was progress day, he called it, for J.D. Vance. Lori?
Who else spoke at the RJC, and what was their particular theme?
Yeah, it was quite a lineup. There was a long list of Republican lawmakers and officials, and one of the prominent and dominant themes was the rise of anti-Semitism, both here in America there and around the world. Justice Department official Leo Terrell, he said anti-Semitism isn't simply a Jewish issue, it's an American issue, and promised aggressive federal enforcement of civil rights laws. Now, there was also a broader message that supporting Israel means confronting the ideology behind some of the threats against it, not simply responding to individual attacks. Now,
we must expose these radical organizations, their networks, their ideology, and where the evidence support it, their funding. But you have a critical role as well. You must make sure that the administration and Congress understand.
And who you heard from there was a former ambassador from Israel to the United States who mentioned that, yes, there needs to be an offense rather than a reactionary front to reactions going on and the affront that's been hitting Israel on, and the ongoing rhetoric that never seems to stop.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay, well, we'll see. I don't know. I still haven't figured out what the plan is to denuke them. Mm-hmm. That means you physically have to go in there and shut the thing down and take care of it, and you have to go in and get the enriched uranium. That's yet to be determined. Yeah. They may have a plan. We just don't know what it is yet. Right. So, all right, let's check out the weather. There's somebody we can plan on.
Southerly winds bring precipitation and cooler temperatures across northern Oregon and southern Washington, with cloudy skies and a slight chance of rain this afternoon for Vancouver, Portland, and McMinnville, all in the low 70s. Clouds continue in Wilsonville with a daytime high of 73. Through the Willamette Valley, mostly cloudy across the region for Salem and Eugene near 72. A slight chance of rain, then cloudy and low 70s in Albany and Corvallis with a low of 54 later tonight. A chance of showers in Central Oregon turns partly sunny for Prineville, Bend, and Sun River, with highs in the mid-70s to low 80s. Thunderstorms in Boise clear to partly sunny and 89 with wind gusts as high as 26 miles an hour. Along the Oregon coast, fog and a chance of showers in Coos Bay and Port Orford, with highs in the upper 60s to lower 70s, while Brookings and Crescent City settle into the mid-50s to around 60. Southern Oregon sees cooler highs in the mid-70s with partly sunny skies in Grants Pass and Medford, followed by a chance of thunderstorms, mostly sunny in Ashland and Klamath Falls with increasing clouds later in the day. In Northern California, mostly sunny and mid-70s in Wairika and Redding with a chance of thunderstorms, while Chico is partly sunny and 77. Over in Fort Bragg, chance of showers and patchy fog with a high of 60. The Bay Area sees a chance of rain before cloudy skies in 70 in Santa Rosa and partly sunny in 68 for Napa. San Francisco and San Jose start with patchy fog and drizzle before turning partly sunny in the upper 60s to low 70s. For Central California, mostly sunny in Sacramento, Stockton, and Modesto with areas of smoke in the mid to upper 70s. Fresno, Visalia, and Bakersfield reach the mid 80s under sunny skies with lows in the 50s. And that's a snapshot of your Tuesday weather on the Dove.
Oh yeah, time for a look back when on this day in history, the very first woman was hired as a telephone operator, and she was hired to correct a pretty big problem.
On September 1st, 1878, the voice of the telephone changed forever. Emma M. Nutt of Boston became the world's first female telephone operator. And there's a funny story behind why she got the job. The first telephone operators were mostly teenage boys, some barely into their teens. They'd been good telegraph operators, but apparently talking to actual customers was another matter. They were known for being impatient, playing pranks, roughhousing, and even swearing at callers. So Alexander Graham Bell decided to try something different. He hired Emma Nutt, whose patient, pleasant voice proved such a hit that women soon replaced the boys almost entirely. And here's a fun fact. Just a few hours after Emma started, her sister Stella became the world's second female telephone operator. Emma stayed on the job for more than 30 years. So in 1878, the telephone industry discovered an important lesson. Sometimes the best way to improve customer service is to simply replace the teenage boys.
One ringy-dingy, two ringy-dingy.
So let me ask you this. In the days of telephone operators, did they ever listen in?
Oh, that's how the gossip started.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It went from there to the church.
Okay. All right.
Okay. I got a call on that one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's a new a film coming out within the next week or two. It's called Daniel and the Fiery Furnace. Here's the trailer from the film.
When the world commands you to kneel, what do you stand for?
Daniel, what is it?
Last night,
Another dream?
one that made me unsure of God's plan.
Babylon is at the gates! I, King Nebuchadnezzar, have been called to conquer these people here of Judah and deliver them to the promised land of Babylon. You are my people now.
Is this it?
This is only the beginning. Teach them how to pray, and do not be afraid. Jeremiah, the word of God will watch over our people.
Where is this invisible God of yours?
For God's ways are not all known to man.
Bring out the wise men in Babylon. If the Magi cannot remind me of my dream, they will burn in the furnace.
No one on earth can explain to the king the mystery of his dream.
But there is a God in heaven who reveals mysteries.
I want to build a Neo-Babylonian empire.
If anyone should resist, they should be put to death.
Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego. We need to pray like our lives depend on it.
As men made in your image, we look to you. We look to you, Lord.
My people bow down, and why not you?
We do not worship false idols.
This is the day that will be written in stone. I will stand for my faith and my God. Will you?
Okay, it'll be coming to a theater within the next week or so. You might want to check it out. Daniel in the Fiery Furnace, and he did not bend, did not bow, and did not burn, and didn't even have the smell of smoke.
How about that? And it looks really good.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
When life feels heavy, your body feels it, your mind feels it. That is why I created Organic Elements Wellness Spa, a place where wellness is not a luxury, it's a way of life. Step into our wellness lounge with a Himalayan salt room, infrared sauna, steam room, and invigorating cold plunge. Restore your nervous system, detox your body, and clear your mind. Then experience customized massage, advanced skin therapies, and result-driven facials, all designed to help you look as good as you feel. There's nothing else like this in Southern Oregon. This is your space to heal, to reset, to glow. Call today to book your private wellness party for up to 15 guests or surprise someone special with a gift certificate.
Visit Organic Elements Wellness Spa on East Main Street in Medford. Book online at organicelementspa.com. Wellness is wholeness. Voted best of Southern Oregon.
Okay, welcome back on this first day of September. I had Corey Miller on, Dr. Corey Miller. We asked him about his sense about young men and their searching for faith. There's some evidence of this. Dr. George Barna is talking about this, but what really is going on with it, and here's what he had to say.
Yeah, I've talked with George Barna about this one as well. He's concluded that it is not a revival. It is more that young men who did have a church background or attendance in some sort of Christian religious aspect are going back to church more frequently. They're reading their Bibles more frequently. After the Charlie Kirk incident, there was a spike in Bibles ordered and things like that. But we remember what happened after 9/11. Right? On 9/12, we wondered what happened. 9/13, we learned, oh, this is Islam. Well, what is Islam? By the time we get to 9/14 or 15, we forgot about it. So this is deep. There is something happening. You can see how young women vote, seriously progressive left. Young men are more conservative. But the question is where are they going? Are they going to follow a Jordan Peterson and a Joe Rogan? Is it an Andrew Tate or a Nick Fuentes? Or is it, someone else? Charlie Kirk is no longer there. And so, yes, they've been beat down for decades, thinking the best that these toxic masculine males will ever be in light of feminism, again, Marxism, is Homer Simpson on a good day. And so they've checked out even in universities. I think 37% now earn a bachelor's degree, whereas 50% of women do. We're looking at the demographic feminization of academia. Women are getting master's degrees at twice the level. And if the trend continues that more money is correspondent to more degrees, the women will be the breadwinners in America, even of conservative households, and the men are going to have to become the caretakers. Women are going after PhDs more. They now constitute 54% of the assistant professors. And in the next 15 years, they will be the majority of university presidents, deans, and so forth. That is not even the ideology of feminism. That's simply the demographic of feminism. Our young men are being shot through. And I think churches need to take note of this, and we need to start thinking seriously. Even before a youth pastor, we should have a men's pastor. It's that significant.
Interesting statistics coming out of that discussion.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, here is a great display of compassion wrapped in fresh pizza.
Go.
A Bronx pizza shop owner saw a woman eating food from his restaurant's trash, but instead of looking away, Daniel Romano walked over, took her by the hand, and brought her inside. He went straight to the oven and gave her a fresh slice of pizza. The woman began to cry. Romano told her there was nothing to be embarrassed about. He said, "I don't want you eating out of the garbage." The moment stayed with him, so Romano put a handwritten sign outside his pizzeria. It said in part, "Please tell me you're hungry. I will give you a slice of pizza." Anyone who needs a meal can come in for a free slice and water, no questions asked. And then something beautiful happened. People from across the country began calling, offering to pay for slices so Romano could feed even more people. What started with one hungry woman and one act of kindness has become a community effort. Because sometimes a slice of pizza fills an empty stomach, but being treated with dignity can fill something else entirely.
This is an amazing story, and I hope we would take this to heart. I hope he doesn't get shut down for some code violation or some stupid thing.
Right.
Yeah. Because this is really what it's all about. The Scripture is talking about us giving out of our first fruits. You know.
Yeah.
And back in Bible days, everything was agriculture. So, you gave them your first harvest. You give them 10% of your first harvest or whatever you wanted to do. And that's what he's doing here. I mean, he's baking pizza, and the first thing he's doing is giving it away.
Right.
There's a principle here that I would hope that we would take a long look at. That's why I so admire what Jason and these guys do down at the Gospel Mission.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And other organizations, Salvation Army does the same thing. Mm-hmm. I mean, their whole life is helping these people. So
yeah. And the nice thing is, people lined up behind him when they found out, saying, this is going to cost you some money. We're going to help you fund this. But he did it regardless of whether they did or not.
Yeah. Well, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, the Scripture today is good because I have something else after the Scripture. But the Scripture today is Ephesians 3:16. This is the other 3:16.
Oh, okay.
You know the John 3:16?
Yeah, the famous one.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is the other one.
Okay.
There's two 3:16s in the Bible, and you need to sit down and take a look at this one. That according to the riches of his glory, he may grant you to be strengthened with power through his Spirit in your inner being. That is the other 3:16. That according to his riches of his glory, that he may grant you the strength with the power that's inside you. So take that with you. So I have a question for you while we get ready to wrap this up.
All right, yeah.
If Jesus was on earth today, would he go to a Baptist church, Presbyterian church? Would he go to a Calvary Chapel church?
Oh, you're asking me this. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thanks so much, man.
Here's the Southern boy that put it all together for you right here. Watch this.
Well, you can call yourself a Baptist and not be born again, a Presbyterian or a Methodist, and still die in your sin. You can even be charismatic, shout and dance, jump a pew. But if you hate your brother, you won't be one of the chosen few. 'Cause it won't be a Baptist that's sitting on the throne, a Presbyterian or a Methodist that's calling us home. And you won't be a charismatic that plays that trumpet tune. So let's all just live for Jesus, because he's coming back real soon.
I love it. I didn't know you were bringing that in. Oh, my goodness.
Okay.
Oh,
well, do something to others. Give them a piece of pizza today. Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what church you belong to. It's how you treat your brother. Okay. And I know a lot of pastors would argue that point, but at the end of the day, we argue over the non-essentials.
Yeah, true.
So treat somebody the way you want to be treated. Give them some pizza. And I think that's the old song, "Oh Buddha."
Oh, I don't know that song.
Yeah, I should call our friend who sang with the quartet. What's his name? Gosh, I'll think of his name here. He came here.
Oh, I don't know who.
Anyway, everybody's yelling at me, and I should know that name.
I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, have a nice day.
All right.
Since 1934, Grange Co-op has been more than just a store. We've been a cornerstone of our community, owned by people like you. We proudly offer top-quality farm and ranch supplies, including our own Rogue feed, as well as workwear, Western apparel, garden essentials, and pet care products. By signing up as a Grange Rewards customer, you not only enjoy exclusive benefits like special offers and 1% back on most purchases, but you also become part of something bigger, a cooperative that you own and help shape. Join Grange Rewards today.
Hi, I'm Paulina Leiser, producer and host of The Ancient Church. Join me Sunday evenings as we explore Orthodox Christianity, its history, theology, worship, and living tradition.
The Ancient Church, Sundays at 6 p.m. on the Dove TV.
Batter up Rogue Valley for Saturday, September 5th, as Rock Recovery Center invites you to the 2026 Strong and Courageous Recovery Festival at Lithian Driveway Commons in Medford. Come celebrate hope as we're swinging for second chances with the 12-team co-ed Recovery All-Star Softball Tournament. The fun doesn't stop there. Bring the whole family for the Drop the Rock 3K and 5K walk, jog, and run, the exciting Guns versus Hoses, Police versus Fire charity softball game, the Family Fun Zone, delicious concession stand food, free giveaways, community resources, and activities for all ages. Special thanks to our festival title sponsors: Grace Point Fellowship, NIC Industries, Southern Oregon Signs, Happy Camper RV, Court Street Donuts and Grill, WHA Insurance, Rory Wald State Farm Insurance, and the Dove for helping make this incredible day possible. For more information, visit rockrecoverycenter.org. And remember, every swing out there is somebody's second chance.
The Dove TV is pleased to announce we're now seen in the Sacramento, Stockton, Modesto area via a new full-power TV station, KEDS, seen on cable, satellite TV, and over the air. The Dove TV, encouraging and informative for the Sacramento, Stockton, Modesto area on new full-power KEDS TV. The world has a view, but God has the vision. That's what sets the Vision TV show apart. The Vision is an inspirational talk show that elevates voices of faith through powerful conversations, highlighting changemakers making a difference, blending heartfelt storytelling with practical insight, encouraging viewers to live life with clarity, compassion, and vision. Join Elvita King and friends for The Vision, Tuesdays right here on the Dove TV.
The Dove TV, encouraging, informative, and your home for Wretched TV weeknights at 9 p.m.
welcome back. Been looking forward to our guest. Had him on a couple of times and consider fascinating discussions. And I'm honored to have back with us today Dr. Andrew Fox. He's an organizational cultural expert, educator, author, and an Anglican priest with more than 30 years of experience in leadership, communication, and cultural development. He is the CEO of the Cultural Clarity and the author of a forthcoming book entitled Truth in the Age of Applause: How Stupidity is Ruining the American Dream, which examines how groupthink, social pressure, and the pursuit of approval can undermine truth and independent thinking in our modern society. So be looking for that. Dr. Fox, good to see you again, friend. How are you?
It's really good to see you again, Perry. And I thought I'd wear the priestly collar for you this time.
Well, hey, first of all, where can they get the book?
The book is coming out next month.
Okay.
And will be available on the usual platforms, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and so on and so forth. But you can get a pre-ordered copy from truthintheageofapplause.com.
Okay, good. So much to talk to you about, so little time. Your own story is so fascinating to me. Someday we'll come back and visit that. But over the weekend, there were reports about foot washing facilities at the Dallas airport has sparked a broader debate about accommodating the Islamic religion. And apparently they want to do away with this. Why is this an interest to us?
Well, for a start, the airport is tax funded. But this project, or the proposed project, is privately funded. And so you've got to ask yourself, where do these funds come from? Well, obviously they come from the Muslim world. And you're bringing something exclusive into a very public tax-funded place. And even the chapel, or spiritual space, as they now call it, is ecumenical. It used to be that you had a cross and an altar and some pews, and it just, everything about it said this is Christian. But then, of course, you have multiple faiths that use that space, will continue to use that space. Muslims can pray, Christians can pray, Jews can pray. They might not want to pray together, but to create an exclusive space is then to say, well, what about the Christians? What about the Jews? What about the Hindus? What about others? And the real overriding question is, where does legitimate religious accommodation end and an ideology begin, and actually begin to shape the whole functioning of the airport? So believe you me, in downtown Austin, where I live, I've interviewed the imam several times there. And prior to going into his space to interview him, I would wash my hands in the space where they wash their hands and their feet. And some of them go further. They wash their faces, their head. Now, I don't wish to be disrespectful, but that space is probably one of the most unhygienic spaces you'll ever go in. And the idea is to cleanse yourself before you pray. So who cleans up this space? Is it another Muslim, or is it an airport employee? There's so many levels of complicated cultural nuances here that beg the question, when does religious accommodation end and preference to ideology begin? And if it continues, the airport in Dallas, the main airport, will become a main hub for Islam. And I mean no prejudice or Islamophobia against that, but just the facts speak for themselves. So they're called wudus. That's what these washing spaces are called, and there's a wudu space for men and a wudu space for women. Who regulates this? Who monitors this? Who makes sure that, like a public bathroom, that they remain clean? Who monitors it? You can imagine so many levels of nuances here. And that's just on a cultural ideology level. But more so, you've got to look at it at a much deeper level than that, which I don't know how far you want to take this conversation, but in the state of Texas, there is a rising amount of, they call them University Islam Finance Centers. And it's where a great deal of money is being hoarded and being released for schools and community centers and places of worship. And the people that oversee that insist that you comply with Sharia law. So in what way, let's go back to the airport, does washing your feet comply with Sharia law when we're under the law that is the United States of America? At what point do they clash? So many questions, Perry, for this.
So, Dr. Fox, I understand where you're coming from. This is fascinating. But at the end of the day, it seems to be very intentional for one to supersede others. They've used the freedom of religion to advance a singular religion in a very subtle way. I know that sounds phobia, and I don't mean it to be that. But we can't ignore this, can we?
No, we cannot. You're seeing this similar thing happening in the UK as well, where Christians, for instance, a few will gather together, 2 or 3. After all, the Bible says where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I am. And if 2 or 3 of you agree on anything as touching God, it will be done. And so a small gathering of 2 or 3 people near a pregnancy center quietly out the way on the sidewalk so they're not inhibiting anyone will just say a word of prayer and then move on. And they're being arrested for it. And yet the Muslim counterpart in the UK is bringing out their prayer mats and blocking roads, putting them out in the main road and kneeling towards the east to pray. That's an obstruction of traffic. And you've got your own mosques, go pray in your own mosques. So there is a deliberate, intentional bullying. If you lay a hand on me, then you're Islamophobic, 2-tier policing going off in the UK. So many horrific stories there. And now we're seeing this specifically in the state of Texas. Now, I've lived in Washington State, the great go west young man kind of state, and it still is kind of going west. I've lived in Wichita, Kansas for 2 years, which I'd rather forget. But then I moved to Texas and spent many, many years here. And it's like Texas is what the rest of the world see America as. And yet here in Texas is where there's almost an invasion of Muslim enterprises with a lot of cash. And so again, where does religious accommodation end? And where does ideology begin? So let me just throw this at you, Perry. If you're going to teach Islam in public schools, fine, but teach them as comparative religions. Let's compare Muslims to Jews, to Christians, to Hindus, to Sikhs, and so on and so forth, where you're looking at their history, their beginning, and their beliefs. It's a comparative religion. It's a healthy thing. But at what point do you actually start teaching about religion, and then you step over a line and you affirm that religion, that one religion? And so you have, halal food being served to grade school kids. You've got day trips to your local mosque. That's not teaching comparative religion. That is actually affirming that religion by activity.
One other question on this. We could camp here all day, but let me cut to the core of this. I'm wondering if the Christian community understands this and how serious it is and what the intentional agenda is of this movement when we are taught to love. I was reading the scripture of the weekend in a book, and it's pretty simple that we are to hate, we believers, we are to hate evil.
Yes.
But we don't like that word, and we don't like the word hate because it seems to be in contrast of the Christian message of love. Mm-hmm. But now we see something swelling, and I don't know if we understand what this is, and are we prepared for it?
Well, there's 2 questions there. I think there could be confusion as to what it is, and what we should do about it would be the following question. if you look at the Democrat Party, it is completely split. And I believe there'll be a third party, which will be exclusively a socialist party, a third option. Now, I mix with and teach many students, Gen Z, 20-something-year-old students. They are politically homeless. They are spiritually homeless and very, very impressionable. And even the Christian Gen Z kind of 20-something person finds socialism attractive. So the irony is in all of this with the DSA, the Democrat Socialist America, is even Democrat governors are supporting it. But at the heart of the DSA is to get rid of all governors, get rid of Congress, and scrap the White House. And so it's like you're shooting yourself in your own foot. It shows that people are not thinking the implications through, which may speak to your first question of, do we understand this? I think we have to pause and think about what's actually going on. There are over 200 local and state offices that are now occupied exclusively by someone who follows Islam. And women that are not Muslim are voting these characters into office without thinking that their very religion will suppress women. So why are you doing that? It's the irony of watching the governor of Massachusetts sign a bill saying you can abort a baby right up until the day before it's born. And as evil as that is, surrounding that was exclusively women with the God-given ability and the biology in a uterus to bring life into the world. It's what Isaiah said. It's calling good evil and evil good. And God says to us, woe to you. So I think as a church, to answer your second question, we really should be taking Scripture, a gathering together to worship the Lord and serve Him only, very, very serious. Not in a militant way, because we know that the Scriptures say the Lord thy God in the midst of thee is mighty. I would say to mega churches and the local church on the street corner, in the Anglican tradition, we have morning prayer, which is called matins, which is the Latin for belonging to the morning. And we have evening prayer called Vespers, which again means belonging to the evening. On Tuesday evening, we pray for an hour. Friday morning, we pray at 6:30 in the morning, just for an hour. And if you have the time, come to your local church and pray. We are seeing impact in our community in ways beyond the scope of our conversation here, just because God's people are humbling themselves and praying. And I'm all for that. I'm also for people stepping up and running for office to fight against this, but never neglect the power of what it is to come together and pray in Jesus' name.
Amen. By the way, my nightstand, I have the Anglican Common Book of Prayer.
I trust you read it.
Every, more than perhaps you would realize.
Well, there's beauty in the Lord's Prayer.
Yeah.
There's beauty in memorizing some of those liturgical prayers and, give God something to breathe on. Yeah. And it becomes meat to your soul.
All right, let me take a quick break. Get a pre-order of the book called Truth in the Age of Applause. You can go there to the Truth of the Age of Applause. Is it .com or the book.com?
It's truthintheageofapplause.com.
All right, check that out. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Metal Masters can give you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable. Trust Metal Masters to provide perfect air for your family.
Lennox. Air is life. Make it perfect.
Tuesday, Israel's path to victory in the Middle East.
We will be able to achieve unimaginable victory on all the fronts.
And it's one that won't be fought on the battlefield.
Israel is finally becoming a light unto the nations.
And the new thriller from the author of The Harbinger, Jonathan Cahn, returns. Discover what links the seed of Satan to Adolf Hitler and what it means for our future. Discover the mystery behind the altar of Pergamon.
Welcome back, and quite an honor to have back with us today Dr. Andrew Fox. He's a cultural expert, educator, author. He's got a new book coming out, and you can pre-order it now, Truth in the Age of Applause. You can go to truthintheageofapplause.com and pre-order the book. There's a picture of the cover on the screen there. I think you'll find it to be pretty fascinating, how stupidity is ruining the American dream. Sticking with your passion about what's happening with the culture, one of the headlines out there, Dr. Fox, is the Women National Basketball Association, and it appears that the W of the NBA is unable to define what the W means. It's gotten quite confusing, very dramatic, and somewhat humorous when you have the big boys from the NBA saying we're available for draft.
Yeah.
That is kind of really slap in the face. But why is this even happening?
Well, I mean, you can look at it at a cultural or theological level. Culturally, there is satire to it that a fourth grader would even laugh at. The other day, 15 women got together in the WNBA to decide what a woman was. Well, just the principle of that is absolutely hideous. If you got a meteorite that comes from outer space and lands in Arizona, and NASA go pick it up, and you got 400 people determining where did this come from? What is it? What is its nature? Is it radioactive? Is it a new metal? Can we manufacture it ourselves? That's good. But when you get a woman playing basketball, shooting baskets as a woman, competing against women, that's not the same as NASA going to discover a meteorite that's just hit the Earth in Arizona. And so you got 15 women that cannot even decide as biological women what a woman is. And yet you've got Sophie Cunningham, who very casually just said, let's keep women in women's sports, girls in girls' sports. And the onslaught that woman has got is just incredible. But, you know, where sin abounds, grace abounds. And I don't know her faith, her practice. I know she used to play football before she was a basketball player. And I would say to her, she should be the next press secretary for the President of the United States of America. She's got what it takes to go against the flow. And so when Cantor or Katner and White came out and said they're declaring for the WNBA, these two men are 6'10" each. They're built like Goliath with beards. And satirically, they're saying we're declaring now for the WNBA. And they're doing it on purpose to test the policy. Because if the WNBA turn around and says, go away, you're men, obviously, you cannot be drafted for any team in the WNBA. Then they've caught them out. What are you going to do? But if they say, well, we can't really define a woman, but you look like a man, smell like a man, play like a man, act like a man, talk like a man, then you might be a woman. And so it's just hideous. And you have to see behind the veil of that theologically, that there is nothing more terrible than the onslaught against what it is to be a woman as God created you. Again, I made reference to it before in Massachusetts, you know, signing that bill into, you know, a child can be aborted the day before it's born. It's just atrocious. And yet another attack by women against women, and it's called women's health. And so bring it back to the WNBA that are heavily funded by the NBA. I wouldn't survive without the NBA.
Right.
it is just a laughing stock, but a test of their policy. And how they respond to these two giant men that are declaring themselves is going to expose how solid their policy really is.
Could this carry over into the Olympics and other challenges?
Well, it already has done. A number of years ago, I wrote a piece called Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and the parenthesis was called competitive bosh. Bosh being a British word for garbage, rubbish. And what I did, I started in Athens and worked my way through to 2016 and showed how women were never included in athletics back in the Olympian days of Athens. And right up until 2016, the majority of athletes were men. But in 2016, there was an equal split between men and women. And you think, great, now women have their own brand, their own name. It's wonderful. They're unique of who they are, and we love watching them compete. But exactly at the same time, 2016, the committee of the Olympics introduced transgenderism. And so now you've got men competing against women that have been trying since Athens for centuries to be recognized. 2016 become household names. And now they've got men to compete with that are declaring themselves as women. It's already happened. And so my solution to that was, you've got Paralympics for those that are physically impaired. Just create a Trans Olympics, which I don't mean this in a mocking way, but I would love to watch, just for pure comedy, to see it all take place. Men trying to be women, competing as women, and yet performing like men. I'd love to see the fallout from that. So it's already happened.
Yeah. To that end, it appears that this exposure of the nonsense is obviously gaining some good traction, which we appreciate, even from a theological point of view. But it's also showing up in the DEI slowly being kicked out of some departments and agencies. We're seeing it in the War Department, we're seeing it in the State Department, and we're seeing it in corporate America. Do you think it will be totally abolished or just slowed down?
That's a good question. I would say the jury's out. On the answer to that, the Trump-Rubio approach to this is not to destroy equal opportunity. Equal opportunity in the State Department still exists, but they're doing away with the DEI and bringing it back to merit-based. And quite frankly, with the State Department, can you represent the United States in a foreign country in the way the United States should be represented, instead of bringing your own agenda? Now, I don't care. And I'm sure Rubio doesn't care if that's a man or a woman. But to have a transgender in that role is, on the first base, someone pretending. So how can they be taken seriously in representing the country they're sent from as an ambassador to another country? How can you take someone seriously who, on their first moment out the gate, are pretending to be something that they're not?
Yeah.
So it's not an abolishing of equal opportunity. It's just getting back to, look, the State Department is about foreign policy.
Right.
It's not about social policy.
There we go.
And if you bring social policy, you should be fired.
I got to go, but you're fascinating and you're inspiring. Thank you, friend. Let me say to our viewers and listeners, check out the book, truthintheageofapplause.com. There's a picture of the cover of the book. You can pre-order it now. Dr. Fox, let's stay connected. God bless you, my friend. Thanks for your time.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
I'm the SOS Alarm guy, here to tell you about a great deal. SOS Alarm will not only beat any internet deal, but will install the system too. So burglars, beware. SOS Alarm for security and beyond.
At Sweet Tea Express, we've got you covered. Order at the counter and our friendly service staff will do the rest. Breakfast served daily until 2 p.m. Breakfast burritos, biscuits and gravy, skillets, omelets, and more. Sweet Tea Express. Don't get caught hungry.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, gonna let it shine. Oh, shine.
Jerry's Historical Archives. U.S. History. Great moments in time. Record breakers. Our music through the years. Historic leaders. Moments to remember. Go back in time. Back in the day. TV shows of the past. Nostalgia.
It's a wonderful trip down memory lane with fun and interesting stories you might not know about. Relive the past and learn something new.
Open up Jerry's Historical Archives. Weekdays only on Mornings on the Dove.
All right, welcome back, and always a delight when we have time to get the Megan Miracle. Actually, Megan Barth's back with us. She's the executive director of the California Globe, and that is the website, californiaglobe.com. She's in the know of just about everything that's out there, certainly monitoring all the things happening on the West Coast and around the world. californiaglobe.com. Megan, how are you, friend? Good to see you.
Hi, very good, Perry. How are you?
Good, good. Wow, lots to talk about. Hey, couple quick 30,000-foot questions. We're only a couple of months away from the midterm. What issues do you see shaping what will be the outcome of the midterm?
Well, my personal opinion, and I have a lot of those, as you know, in my personal opinion, I think, and this has been pretty historical, the GOP has a problem with messaging, bad problem with messaging. And I'll give you an example. President Trump yesterday put out a tweet or a Truth Social post about data centers. And he basically said that those who vote against data centers or are against data centers will end up poor and broke or something like that. Well, what he doesn't explain, and I've actually done a lot of writing on data centers, because what I've noticed and what Congress has noticed, specifically Tom Cotton, who has launched an investigation into funding behind the anti-data centers campaign. And there is direct funding coming from the People's Liberation Party, which is funded by Neville Singham and the DSA, the Democrat Socialists of America, and a lot of foreign money, including CCP money, pouring into our country to create the anti-data center movement. And I even hear in Nevada, there is a senator who is way over her skis, a state senator, Dina Neal. She just proposed, and she's the chair of the finance committee in the state. So she has a very powerful position as far as what bills are going to be heard and funded and passed, et cetera. And of course, she's a Democrat. And she wants to put a complete moratorium on data centers and expansion. Now, let me just explain why the anti-data center people are completely over their skis. And the reason being is because the technology that the Democrats and some Republicans are using to scare people, and I'm not saying that they don't have valid concerns. I'm not saying that water is not a valid concern or electricity is not a valid concern. Of course, it's a valid concern. But the fear campaign that's being generated by foreign influence is that it's going to drain our water reserves, and especially in a state like Nevada where we have very limited water. And it's also going to spike people's electricity. That's not true. simply not true. They might be talking about technology, old technology, that has since been abandoned by data centers over the course of decades. But data centers now have completely new technology where they're basically recycling water or using different types of cooling systems, using solar, for example. And so as AI technology progresses, so does data center technology progress. And so when you look at, we have 70 projects in Nevada for data centers right now, and the Democrats want to completely kibosh that. One of the founders and multi-patent holders started one of the largest data centers in the country nearly 20 years ago. And it's called Switch. He just sold the company, but his son still runs the company. And this technology, these data centers have been around for decades, but the technology is better. So Trump throws out this kind of flippant or glib tweet, and he doesn't really explain why they're on the wrong side of history. And it really kind of comes down to, just as I expressed to you in the 1 minute that I did, data centers have advanced. They are not draining water. They are not a threat to the environment. They are not a threat to electricity bills. As a matter of fact, a county in Georgia is thinking about eliminating property taxes because of the revenue that the data center is going to bring in. So there has to be better messaging by the GOP, especially when it comes to the war in Iran, especially when it comes to gas prices and the Venezuelan oil deal. So I think what the GOP is really doing is, unfortunately, kind of sitting back on its laurels, and maybe they've already accepted defeat for the midterms. I think we should see some stronger messaging. We should also see some lower gas prices with the Venezuelan oil deal. But really getting down to these issues that are being amplified by foreign money in order to allow the CCP to control AI, which is the last thing we want, as well as cripple America by having multiple municipalities and states across the country put these moratoriums on data centers.
Okay, boy, there's a lot there. First of all, just to let you know, our governor here is also proposing legislation that would prohibit data centers from being built in the state of Oregon. It's already a campaign issue. It's already a campaign issue between the
Of course it is.
With the governor, Christine Drazan, who's running as a Republican. And I think that what we're forgetting here, look, to your point, the Ds have done a good job of demonizing the data centers. But at the end of the day, they're going to be as important as the corner gas station, and we don't understand that. And to your other point is, yes, the technology is greatly improved. And most people say, all right, you can build them, but you got to provide your own power. So they have the resources to do that, you know. But I don't know. I don't know. What if California, Oregon, and Nevada said no to data centers? What do we just shut the door on the future? I mean, we will be driving Etzels.
Well, and that's Trump's point, whether it's glib or blunt or not. I mean, that's his point.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be left behind. The states are going to be left behind that don't embrace this technology. And like I said, for your governor who's proposing a moratorium, or my state senator who's completely over her skis, explain why they're so bad, especially in the light of new technology.
Yeah.
Right. You can go to Meta, you can go to Switch, you can go to Google, you can go to NVIDIA, you can go to plenty of websites, and they show you what kind of technology they're using and how they've advanced and how they're not using, the hundreds of thousands of gallons of water that the scare tactics by the leftists and some unwitting Republicans who have kind of jumped on this bandwagon. Whether we like it or not, the technology is advancing as far as AI is concerned.
Right.
That is the future when it comes to computing. That is the future when it comes to information. And that is the future when it comes to jobs. These data centers employ thousands of people, from engineers on down. Yeah. So we could have either China's going to do it or we're going to do it.
Yeah. So the other part of your answer was in messaging the war in Iran. What's your take on what's going on there? I mean, we've had some military exchange in the last 2 days. Even the EAU got involved in some drone activity. President Trump said yesterday that Iran is out of business, which it really isn't.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's your take, and how's that going to play into the election cycle?
Well, just before I came on with you, Perry, I just watched a clip on X, and it was of Joe Scarborough interviewing Chuck Schumer. And Joe Scarborough actually did a very good job. And he just asked Chuck Schumer a very simple question. Is the fact that Iran's military capabilities are completely decimated, is that a good thing? And Chuck Schumer, of course, could not answer that question because he does not want to give any positive comments related to this administration and what they've done. And the Iran regime has been threatening the United States with, decimation, war, annihilation since 1979. It's 2026. And President Trump completely kneecapped them and completely destroyed any and all military capabilities, including those that would have allowed them a nuclear weapon. Now, do I think, and I don't know, but do I think that this war is taking a little bit longer than they expected? Yes. I've never really understood, and I'm not a foreign policy wonk, but I've never really understood how a terrorist regime can control such an important body of water like the Strait of Hormuz and all of a sudden say it's theirs. Well, who said it's yours? Did you buy it? What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think this war was very strategic and very long overdue, because we would have continued to have, both Republicans and especially Democrats kowtowing to terrorists. Trump took them head on, and that's caused, of course, a spike in our gas prices. But what has also caused a spike in our gas prices is, number one, we had no oil reserves after the Biden regime because they drained our oil reserves in order to bring gas prices down right before his re-election or lack thereof, the Biden administration. We also had California. That has completely decimated our energy independence on the West Coast, as you know. California in the 1980s had over 70 oil refineries that were manufacturing good oil and supplying. We get 95% of our energy and oil from California and Nevada. So when California closes down nearly every single refinery and forces refineries out of the state due to environmental green regulations, cap and trade, etc., the oil companies pick up and they move, and that's exactly what they did. So California is abundant in oil. It is one of the oil richest states, probably outside of Alaska. And so when they impose all these draconian backwards regulations on the oil companies, they've taken their refineries from nearly 80, I think it was, just back in the 80s, 40 years ago. They have less than 7.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's also caused a spike in gas prices. So we've got a lot of things, and unfortunately Trump has a lot of things working against him. But the new Venezuelan deal with 65 billion barrels of oil and more to be had should send those prices downward.
When do you expect that to get online? I can't get that answer.
I have not gotten that answer, and I don't know. And again, this is a messaging problem.
Yeah. Okay.
It's very, messaging is not that, well, it is hard.
Yeah.
But for some people, like myself, a writer and someone who, consumes news daily, all day, I can explain things to my friends who are not so, or even my family, who are not so entrenched in the political process. And so when I don't have the answers to something, that comes back to bad messaging.
Sure does. All right. So in the meantime, I can't find a poll where Governor Gavin Newsom for 2028 is at the top. Is he toast?
Oh, I would never discount that. You never know. Nancy Pelosi works behind the scenes, and she's going to do everything to save her nephew's political career. He's always had his desires on being president. He's never held a private sector job in his life. He was born with a silver spoon in his mouth, no matter what he tells you. So I wouldn't discount him this early.
Okay. It's just been interesting because. So, what do you think of the DSA?
Probably what I couldn't say on air.
Well, I realize it's a simple question, but I'm wondering, when it comes to messaging, here's another opportunity for the Republicans to capitalize on it. They seem to be it's like they have the ball in their hand, but they don't have control of it. They're still fumbling it.
They're like Linus with the football.
Yeah.
Is it Linus that pulls it away or whatever? Or Charlie Brown. The DSA is capitalizing on fear, and so they're very much like, that's why they have Democrats in their name, right? Democratic Socialists of America. It's such a ruse. But it appeals to the low information voter very easily. It appeals to the TikTok crowd, the young crowd. It appeals to that generation that is struggling. When you look at and they don't want to look backwards, right? They want to look forwards. They don't understand history. I was just watching a Jesse Waters clip for spring break, and he was interviewing the kids on the beach, and they've gotten dumber. I mean, it used to be bad, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Now it's just absolutely atrocious. I mean, they can't even tell you who the first president of the United States was. I mean, this is how far our education system has fallen. And it's fallen this far for a reason. Because if you can continue to produce a factory or an assembly line of absolute morons, those are going to be your voters. And who better to vote for a pie-in-the-sky idea such as socialism or communism, or Bernie Sanders for that matter? You have absolutely no economic sense whatsoever. You don't understand capital risk. You don't understand business. You don't understand capitalism, period. And you certainly don't understand socialism or communism. And you never read Marx. You might have read Marx, but you certainly don't understand Marx. And so this is your perfect democratic socialist voter, whereby they're seeing the high gas prices, they're seeing the high housing prices, they're seeing the stagnation of wages, and they're blaming it on capitalism. Well, that's not the case.
Yeah.
I can tell you that most of those three that I just mentioned has everything to do with illegal immigration and legal immigration, like H-1B visas, that have driven up the costs of housing, that have driven up the costs of rent, that have stagnated or reduced wages, and that have also infiltrated our school system, right? And all of our services. So things are going to cost more when there is a huge spike in demand. And under the Biden administration, when you let in, and I've heard some people in this administration say, oh, there's 10 million that were let in under Biden. But then I've also heard people say there were 30 or 40 million. Then you have the former head of the Border Patrol say that there's upwards towards 100 million people that are here both legally and illegally. That's a third of our country. And I believe him, because we have had literally unmitigated immigration, meaning just an open door, welcome mat policy for every Tom, Dick, and Harry and their 16 cousins and their 9 wives and their 18 kids to come over here and basically use all of our resources on the backs of the taxpayers.
Mm-hmm.
We will not have a sustainable environment. We will not have a sustainable country if we once again go back to the Biden administration's policy of an open door policy, where anybody that just touches our soil is automatically given the same rights as an American citizen. You cannot have that and expect prices to go down.
Yeah. All right, let me take a quick break. Let me say to our viewers and listeners, Megan's website is californiaglobe.com, where she is the executive editor. There's a picture of that landing page, and very, very resourceful, californiaglobe.com. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site, in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare. Your loved one can spend the day with us, and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living, your home.
In a time when our culture faces unprecedented challenges,
I want to talk about the role of a Christian even in a hostile culture.
Christian apologist and evangelist Alex McFarland addresses the hard-hitting questions about faith, morality, and culture.
People are hungry for truth, and we've got to rise to the challenge of our assignment as the church.
Know your faith better to be equipped to defend it in a world searching for answers.
But when you put the face of an earthly man on God, then you're never going to understand who God is.
God takes pleasure in you, and the very sight of you is joy and blessing.
Alex McFarland, inspiring believers through apologetics to boldly stand for truth in a critical time. Catch him Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday on the Dove TV, encouraging and informative. More at thedove.us.
Okay, welcome back. Always an honor and a joy to have with us Megan Barth. Megan is Executive Director of the California Globe, and you can go to thecaliforniaglobe.com. There's the website, and she tracks just, well, globally, but she's also very much involved in the Pacific Northwest, California, Nevada, keeps an eye on all of that. Megan, as you know, the president did win a kind of a partial victory with checking the voter rolls. The Supreme Court said, yeah, you can do that, but they didn't give the okay for the post office to be involved. Is that kind of a 1 forward, 2 back? Where does it leave them?
Yeah, this is, as you know, I've been talking about voter fraud, election integrity since 2008.
Yeah.
So how many years ago is that? 18? A long time coming. And you have to ask yourself, what are the Democrat AGs hiding? What are the Democratic SOSs hiding? Why won't they just release their voter rolls so that there can be a federal audit? They claim that there would be a massive breach of privacy, and that data contains specifically Social Security numbers, et cetera, within the voter roll registration data is private. Well, who gives Social Security numbers out to people in America? It used to only be for citizens, but Biden gave Social Security numbers to illegal aliens. So good luck finding those. So, so who gives Social Security numbers to Americans, or even, I guess, illegal aliens now, because that's a new thing? That would be the federal government. Right. So the federal government already has Social Security numbers, and that's why they want the voter roll data, because they want to compare the voter roll data to the Social Security number and make sure that the Social Security number is not assigned to an illegal alien who happens to be on the rolls. That's the background. Now, in California, Bill Asili, the U.S. Attorney for the Central District, I believe, of California, has said that there's going to be multiple arrests coming as far as voter fraudsters, as well as numerous investigations that are ongoing. And the Department of Justice just nabbed an illegal alien who registered, who happened to be caught in an anti-ICE rally in Central California, was arrested, charged with a misdemeanor. Of course, he was released because California is a sanctuary state. And then the illegal alien thought it was really smart to continue to text his federal contact and threaten his federal contact, and said he couldn't wait till the midterms. Well, this kind of perked the ears of the federal agent, so he went looking, and sure enough, the legal alien from Honduras was registered to vote, and he was going to vote in the midterms. This is the type of people that California, with sanctuary city policies and the fight against the Trump administration to withhold government data from the government, this is exactly the concerns of the Trump administration. And this is why the post office comes in as a critical tool. Because most states that have allowed illegal aliens driver's licenses, like Nevada, like California, not sure about Oregon, that have allowed sanctuary policies like California to infiltrate their state and to protect illegal aliens from arrest and other issues. That is why the post office is critical, because most of those states have universal mail-in balloting. So what that means is whoever's on the voter roll, whether they're dead, alive, illegal, or not, will get a ballot. That's what the post office comes in and says, we're going to make sure that these ballots are only going to certified voters. And the ballots will have now codes or tracking mechanisms, so that we aren't just willy-nilly sending ballots to every Tom, Dick, and Harry or Jose and Luisa on the voter rolls if they shouldn't be there. One red flag that really caught my eye, Perry, that we may have talked about months ago, was when our Secretary of State, who's a Democrat, who is a Harry Reid protege, eliminated 315,000 people off our voter rolls in just one sweep, in one purge. 315,000. There are less than 2 million people registered to vote in Nevada. That's a significant purge. If a Republican Secretary of State wiped out 315,000 voter registrations, the Democrats would be having an absolute heart attack. But because a Democrat Secretary of State did it very quietly, there's no purge. That was just standard maintenance. Well, it wasn't standard maintenance. How did you get 315,000 people on the voter rolls that shouldn't be there? And many of them were there for decades. So that shows you that the Secretary of State, specifically Democrats, and this happens across Democratic states and secretaries of states, they aren't following federal law, which requires them to clean the voter rolls every 2 years, with the exception of 3 months or something before. It's some sort of Bill Clinton bill, and it was one of the worst bills ever passed for elections, but we have it, okay? So that's federal law.
Yeah.
TAVA, Help America Vote Again. Yeah, right. More like help illegal aliens onto the voter rolls is really what that's about. And so the post office is critical. They say they're going to be ready before the midterms, but we certainly aren't going to get the Democratic secretaries of state or the Democratic AGs to cooperate with the federal government, to allow the federal government to simply audit the data that the federal government provides, is what it boils down to.
And let's not forget that the post office is a federal agency, not a state agency. So that's the other layer here. Our secretary, our Secretary of State and our Attorney General said they're going to fight all of this. Obviously, other states are too.
Yes, they are.
And by the way,
what are they hiding?
In Oregon, they identified 800,000. They said, well, we've identified 800,000 on the voters' rolls that should be off. That's all we heard. We never heard they were taken off. We just heard that they were identified.
Are you a universal mail ballot state?
We're a mail-in state, yes, a mail state, yes.
You have 800,000 ballots that are going to be sent to where?
Well, see, what it was, they identified 800,000, Secretary of State said 800,000 people that shouldn't be on the voter roll. That was the big news. Never heard what happened to it, never heard if they were taken off, never heard anything. It's just it was a one-day big news and it went away. And we're a mail-in ballot state.
Again,
we're a mail-in ballot state. So because at the end of the day, if the post office is going to be given the authority to check, and that part of the decision from the Supreme Court hasn't come. The first part has, where he can check the voter roll, but as far as the post office being involved, that's still kind of hanging out there, and yet the clock is ticking. It'll be interesting if they do give the authority or if they don't.
Well, what I find interesting about many courts and many of these but let me go back. What I find most interesting about these lawsuits, and it's just a game. It's political theater. They're just trying to wear out the clock. They're trying to make sure that the states won't have time to respond to any sort of judicial decision that would require them or the post office to, secure the midterms. They don't want the midterms secured. They want those 800,000 ballots going out to who? Where?
Yeah, who cares? Well, listen, you're all over the place. I'm watching more and more people leave California. You kind of wonder. I heard you're like 40. I say your neighbor state there is like 42 days away from insolvency at any given time.
Well, the feature story on California Globe, and I would encourage everyone to read it because it certainly is not specific to California.
Yeah.
But California right now is paying state employees, over 250 of them, over $600,000 a year.
Well, I got to go. Oh, that's crazy. Hey, good to see you. Hang in there. Don't give in. We need you.
I don't plan on it. They're going to have to drag me kicking and screaming.
No, we need you. We need you. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Okay.
Thanks,
God bless you, my friend. Have a good day.
God bless you. Thank you so very much.
All right. See you later.
Your property demands equipment with more reliability, durability, and versatility built in. Kubota equipment is ready to get the job done right.
There may have never been another time in history when end times prophecy has been more aligned with the culture and circumstances of the world than it is today. I believe there are 10 phenomena we are witnessing today that were recorded centuries ago in Bible prophecy.
Join Dr. David Jeremiah in his series, Where Do We Go From Here? On the next episode of Turning Point, right here on this station.
Weekends on the Dove TV. The Dove TV is pleased to announce we're now seen in the San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose area via a new full-power TV station, KEDB, seen on cable, satellite TV, and over-the-air. The Dove TV, encouraging and informative for San Francisco, Oakland, and the San Jose area on new full-power KEDB TV. You're watching the Dove TV, encouraging and informative for Boise and the Treasure Valley, seen on KTV.